a warning?
There ain't nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office, have children, celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
You got a boyfriend? Would I be here if I had a boyfriend? I've got one. You want to come over? I'm Mark. I'm Gabriel. Do you live around here? Why are you here?
Hi, I'm Catherine Lambert. I'm an actress.
This is a bad idea. Two are roommates? No.
But we're very close. I even take care of his dog, Trixie.
You've got your place to yourself now, right? I need to be alone with Mark. Treb. I live with this guy, Rich. He's straight.
I need the apartment.
I need the apartment. You can't ask a one-night stand to come back tomorrow night.
Flip?
Yeah, flip. Where do you live?
This summer,
I'm Miss Coco Peru. Hello. A whipping poo.
What the hell is a whipping pool?
Fine Line Features presents Christian Campbell, JP PItoc, and Tori Spelling
You want some? Yeah.
in a comedy that shows
I find the idea of two men getting on incredibly hot.
how the other half loves.
I don't want to sleep with women. I'm sorry, Gwen.
No matter which half you are.
There was a drag queen in the bathroom?
A little peace shy? Oh, don't worry. Miss Coco's here to help.
Gabe, I talked to my mother. She called you my boyfriend again.
We went to one prom back when I thought I was...
Thought he liked girls then.
Whoops.
Trick. A story about two guys trying to make it in the big city.
It's big. It's beautiful. And you're gonna love it.
Welcome back to the show, listeners. Welcome back. Scott,
Yes.
we don't do movies like this on our show.
We don't usually do the traditional gay movies, so this is a very special episode that I feel like
It kind of is.
I feel like our entire show has been building to this movie. All 270 some episodes. But I'm really glad that we got to this.
I remember when we first watched this movie, and we'll talk about it in a moment or two. But before we get there, listeners, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. We have a very special guest today.
We
Jake.
sure do.
All right. We went over your last name.
Baby, it's difficult.
It is difficult.
Whoever wrote my birth certificate sneezed.
And when you said it just 5 minutes ago,
I can do
I was
it. You
like,
want me to do it?
clearly. Yes, you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jake Szczepaniak.
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 Oh, thank you to the live audience.
I was on the spot.
I love it. Yeah, Jake Szczepaniak. It's a hard name.
Comedian, actor, funny guy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Natural blonde. Check my IQ.
Dishwater blonde. Oh, sorry. It's true.
And you're not a redhead.
No.
It's
I can
blonde.
prove it.
Scott, that's
were you-
blonde. He's sitting in front of you.
Were you like a very blonde child?
Baby, the
like
amount-
blonde.
Oh, the amount of
Towhead child?
rich white ladies in Chicago that would come up to me and be like, "Who's your colorist?"
Oh.
And I'd be like, "God." But you
Thank
know,
my
age
parents.
happens. The amount of little children that would run up to me and be like, "Mommy," and I'd be like, "Not this time." But I am a natural blonde. But you know,
Love
the
it.
30s hit.
Yeah,
Just turned that corner 8 years ago.
It's fine. Me, I haven't gotten there yet, so I
Yes,
don't know.
you have a lot
I
of
don't know
beautiful
what
blonde in
that's-
your hair.
What that's like. But thank you for coming on our show.
Please, thrilled.
And thank you for suggesting this movie.
So we've been meaning to do this movie, I feel like, since the first season of the podcast. We finally got to our Trick episode, directed by Jim Fall, written by Jason Schaefer, premiered at the 1999 Sundance Film Festival, and went on to its limited release July 23rd, 1999. It went over to gross over $2 million at the box office,
work.
which wasn't bad for
an
a
indie.
$450,000 movie.
In 1999, one of the greatest movie years of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
We
it's
love.
not- I don't think we should sleep that this movie came out in 1999.
And I would
we
say
love our 1999 movies on the show.
a gay movie, and I'm saying this is a very gay movie.
You know
this
what?
is gay cinema.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a success story that it grossed over $1 million.
There's a sequel. Did I watch?
Do you
the
actually
sequel?
think it's
No.
happening?
What?
Has
Yeah.
the has
No,
the
it
sequel
hasn't
actually
been
happened?
produced yet.
It hasn't been.
It hasn't been produced.
No, it's just on the books.
It's on the books.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it since 2018.
You know what?
I think that Jim Fall posted something about it,
I hope. I don't need a
or
sequel.
the producers, and I don't.
I
think-
kind of feel like we don't need a sequel.
Some things are just great.
It's a capsule
It's
story.
It's like Carol. I don't need a sequel to
It
Carol.
is
there
a
you
true.
go.
Okay, so I
it
had,
end.
I had not
Let it-
seen this
let it
movie
end.
since I was
Yeah.
probably 24 years old.
Oh my
Right.
God.
If we revisit this movie, it's maybe watching Coco's scene.
Coco Peru.
A
Coco
little bit.
Peru
Now,
scene.
don't sleep on the one take.
Yeah.
Yes,
She
it is
does
one
that
take.
in
You're right.
one take.
You're
It really is
absolutely
giving Mindhunter or whatever that show. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it is giving adolescence.
But yeah,
One
I,
take.
I don't think that I have properly sat down and watched this movie from beginning to end since I was maybe 23 years old.
Yeah. I think I was the same. I was about the same age, and it was all I saw it much later than the year it came out,
Right.
Because I was closeted the year it came out. Would you believe? I probably had a girlfriend, but yeah.
Sorry.
No, wow, that Paige Collins. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
for that noise cue. No, she's my roommate now. We've been friends 20 years.
Love it.
Girlfriend. That's how you do gay girlfriends.
Love it.
Yeah, like, God, I saw it when I was 22, and I was like, snuck it from my college library.
Yes.
I could check it out without like any parents knowing.
This
I
is a
finally
good
was living on my
library.
own.
This is a good library
And I was
rental.
like,
Yeah.
oh, my student library has all these films to research. I'm going to check out Trick. And I got the DVD and I watched it alone in my studio dorm.
Oh,
This is probably
Love
one
it.
of those rare gay movies that you could find at a Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, starring Christian Campbell, who we love,
Reefer Madness fame.
Reefer Madness.
Never
Reefer
sleep on
Madness.
it.
brother of Neve,
Oh, never forget.
brother
It's the
of,
eyes.
Is he
I can,
cuter?
I can see her eyes.
Okay, so I have
Yep.
notes on
He's a
Christian
ginger.
Campbell. Is he actually?
Like in Trick,
I can
was
see
like,
it.
Wow, what a
he has
ginger.
he has the
see the
freckles.
yeah.
He has the freckles,
The
on,
freckles.
on his shoulders.
And not to be crass,
Yeah.
but his nipples were so pale.
They're
I was like,
so pink.
I was like, you are a real ginger.
So here's my hot take on Christian Campbell. On movies that made us gay, we like to refer to Neve Campbell as a handsome woman.
she did. She got that jawline.
We've several times we've referred to Neve Campbell as a handsome woman. She has a jawline. Now
That chin.
Christian Campbell, her brother, resembles her very much.
They look related.
But
Yet,
But Christian's
I
so
would
pretty.
say that he is a pretty man.
Yeah.
So where does the
But
Venn diagram
he
of
has,
handsome
but
woman?
he has Neve's.
they're both dancers.
Pretty
but
man.
he has Neve's eyes though.
It's the lashes.
And you know,
Yeah.
the eyes are what got her the role.
yeah.
And the cowlick, they both have the same cowlick.
They have the same
That's 'cause
cowlick.
I'm also like a cowlick king right here.
Oh, cowlick.
Yeah.
We've got a few cowlick kings.
Yeah.
That kitty might have one too.
But Christian has those really long lashes that the
His eyes are
almost
very
looking like
pretty.
he's wearing mascara. Too.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and in Reefer Madness, I was like, oh, they dyed your hair black to look more like Neve Campbell.
right. So that's my question is like what the Venn diagram of handsome woman to pretty man, and in between is Christian and Neve, right in the center. of-
Honestly, we need a third sibling.
hey, yeah, I'm not mad at it, but I just found that kind of interesting as we're watching it. I was just like, man, he's so pretty.
He
But I was
is the
like,
face. He's well, I won't lie. The one thing I even wrote down, I was like, "Oh my god, this director knew a beautiful face."
Yeah.
Because even Mark is that his
Yeah,
name?
yeah,
It's
Mark.
Gabriel is Christian,
Yes.
and
Yep.
Mark.
And
is
I
the go-go boy.
want to call the Go-Go Boy Gabriel because to me that's the more like Latin kind of sounding name.
Mark?
Right?
And he looks like a Gabriel.
Yeah, and he looks like a Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just calling him JP the whole time. JP PItoc is the actor. I
always have trouble
So
pronouncing his last
we're
name.
going to be going back and forth between calling him
Yes.
Mark, JP.
Honestly, if we mention
Maybe
any
Gabriel.
name,
Yeah.
imagine whoever you wish we were talking about.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, these two leads, you're absolutely right. The director was kind of focused on these faces, and the two of them in 1999,
They really work.
They work.
Oh my God! Eternally, a little bit. I really even watching it now.
My mind is kind of blown. I flipped my wig this afternoon when I remembered.
That's a nice wig.
Christian Campbell is a straight man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
They
Christian
both are.
Campbell is straight.
No.
Yes, he is.
That is not true. Wait,
Right?
my whole life I've been. Oh my. That was me. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was my diaphragm releasing all the. I thought this man was gay my whole life, ever since Reefer Madness.
Christian
No,
Campbell is
yeah.
married to a woman.
Oh my God.
He's just one of those musical theater straights.
He just has
no.
that very
It's like Aaron
adorable
Tveit.
gay face.
It's giving.
Yeah.
He has. I was ready to
Resting
advocate
gay
for this
face.
movie, like gay actors doing gay work.
Remember the little
Didn't do my research.
the little pommel horse boy at the Olympics this year with the glasses that everybody thought was
Yes,
so cute? Straight.
That guy's straight.
Straight.
Well, he's giving straight. He can do my taxes.
No, but
He's
he,
straight.
but also he on Dancing with the Stars, he was very fruity. So I was like, I love like the fruity straight guys. Like I'm kind of here for a fruity straight guy.
I mean, we live in
They're
LA.
always allies.
The skincare
you know?
regime over here, everyone's a little confused.
Christian is married to a Canadian American.
Oh, she's Canadian.
Broadway
That's
actress.
basically a man.
He's no, but the Campbells are
There's some
Canadian.
guys.
The Campbells
too.
are Canadian.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're from Canada.
Dual citizenship, probably.
Yes.
Not gay. Even.
I know. Bubble burst.
Wow. Okay. I'm just.
Glass
This is
shattered.
some gotcha.
I have to
this
leave.
is some gotcha journalism.
I'm so sorry. I'm exiting the
You can
interview.
see yourself out.
I'm walking home
we'll
from Pasadena.
We'll finish this on our own.
But it does kind of raise that question of if you're right for the role, you're right for the
Babe,
role.
and he was.
Yeah, and it's like what Michael Kors says.
It's the right girl.
It's the right girl.
In the right dress.
In the right dress.
With the right hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the conversation of
He also was brave, I guess, in 1999. It
True,
was not
yeah.
Baby. I was getting
Yeah,
called,
you're
can we
right.
say?
yes,
Yeah, I was called faggot daily in 1999.
Absolutely.
By friends and foes.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Friends, loved
I did
ones,
have community.
countrymen. Yeah, they were all.
But God, I mean, I guess, and he really did that so guilelessly and so, I mean, it's giving Leo.
You know,
just like
and the thing is,
full immersion.
I feel like this movie, it is an independent movie. It was kind of a small thing, and maybe it's because like we're gay, so we're all like, of course, trick. But I kind of feel like it had, Tori. It had some kind of. It had legs.
Okay,
in
wait.
99.
Did you guys notice that I did? So this is how gay I am. Horton from Seussical is in this.
Oh, mama.
He plays what's his name's boyfriend that he runs into. Remember?
Oh, sure.
Sure. That is a Broadway star.
Well, there you go.
Kevin. His name is Kevin. I'm going to get his name wrong.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But he's just like got a moment. I was like, I know that guy, and that's Kevin. He's a Broadway star. There's a lot of gay icons. A little bit. I'm sure these are all New York
Kevin
actors working.
Chamberlain.
Kevin Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Who played Horton in Seussical, the musical.
Oh my god, that is
Broadway
a deep,
star.
that is a
Iconic.
deep
That is a
cut.
deep cut right there.
I'm sorry. If you need to know, I am a bottom. You haven't caught on yet.
All right. So okay,
Pete, when do
Yes.
you remember watching this movie?
This was a rental for me. I did not.
I think this would have had to have been a
Yeah,
rental in my
I
early
don't-
20s. This is also one of those movies that I don't really have a clear memory of first watching it in my early 20s.
Yeah.
too.
So I do have to say that this is my introduction to Coco Peru. For
Huge.
one, right? Because Girls Will Be Girls is 03. So that's 2 years later.
Girls Will Be
Oh,
Girls.
God, I'm embarrassed. I don't even know that one.
Girls Will Be Girls. You don't know
So
Girls Will Be Girls.
good.
No.
Jack Plotnick, Coco
So
Peru,
good.
Plotnick,
Varla Jean Merman. It's
Keep saying names. This is hot.
iconic. Watch it. I'll give you our DVD.
I've had as many children ripped out of me as a burning
burning
orphanage.
orphanage.
I don't know. That's an amazing line. That's great.
Yeah, it's
Girls Will Be Girls is great. I haven't watched it in a while.
in a minute.
But the drag queen is famous. In fact, I think I was just on Hinge today, and someone had a photo with them with Coco.
With Coco. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, but swipe right.
Yeah. No, I mean, Coco is kind of on the gay, socials right now because mid-century modern.
Yeah,
Is she
I
on
remember
that?
we watched the
So
first
here's-
episode of Mid-Century
so
Modern.
Here's the deal.
We watched the first episode of Mid-Century Modern. Very charming show.
Yeah,
I mean,
support
it's
it.
not
It's a
great. It's not
sitcom.
great
Nathan
television.
Lane. We have to support that.
It's a
national treasure.
It's a sitcom.
Nathan Lane,
I
we
was
love
here
him.
for it.
It matters.
And we
People love
see
that.
in the closing credits Coco Peru, and we're
Writing?
like,
And I paused it
Where
immediately
the
and said,
"Fuck
"Where
is
the
Coco
fuck
in
was
this episode?"
So the deal was she released a statement on I think Facebook because it's Coco Peru. What happened was she went in, she got hired for the gig. Did not end up shooting the scene.
Yes, this happened.
But
I thought that she shot it and it wasn't.
She said the reason that she got the credit was because she got paid.
Oh yeah, so this does happen on sitcoms. You will show you can be you may do the read through.
Yeah,
you got hired, and then suddenly because they're moving out of clip, it's not even anyone's fault. I wish there was someone to villainize, but honestly,
totally,
this is they got to shoot this in a week. Yeah. They got to shoot this in 3 days, so they will be like, oh, the writers will be like, we just cut that scene. You'll be driving up. I've had 2 actor friends show up on set and be like, oh, they just cut my scene, but you know what? You get paid for the day.
Yeah. So that's what happened. She got paid for the day. She said she was there. She hung out with all of them.
She's in the background of a scene.
Great. She's in the background of a scene.
It's when they're checking into the gay hotel at the end of the episode.
But she's not in it.
Well, we know from Trick that she can deliver a monologue. At an amazing pace and in one take.
Yeah, absolutely.
In one take.
Yeah. Good old one wig.
That wig, she never. You know what? I support it.
Was Bianca Del Rio.
Jackie or Bianca?
It was Bianca.
What'd she say? Something nice?
She just referenced her as one wig, and from then on, we only call Coco that.
Well, what do we say about Dolly?
Hey. Well, now Dolly has her like weird fashion mullet that's going on. I don't know what's happening with Dolly's hair these days, but I'm still here for it. Have you clocked Dolly's latex and or silicone fingerless gloves?
We noticed it in one of the Christmas specials a few years ago.
Someone told me she's covered in tattoos.
Well, that's the urban.
This
legend.
may be apocryphal.
Sleeves,
but that's the urban legend.
The fingerless gloves are to cover up the wrinkles. But
you are nuts. She's not Christina Aguilera.
At any rate, so I remember.
Why are we here again?
I remember Coco and thinking, okay, so here's the deal. It's 1999. Gay movies are in a weird place. Gay movies are in this
–
post-Philadelphia.
Well, and don't forget, I honestly watched the movie and like, what a little response to even cruising.
Yes.
Do you know who directed it? Big deal.
William Friedkin. Yeah.
William Friedkin. And
Al Pacino.
Of just and then that movie, rewatching that movie is
wild.
Also very kind of true. Go to
Holds
the
up.
Eagle.
Yeah.
It's
it feels
that's
like
what
it.
it's like.
Holds
the
up.
People responded negatively. Protested that.
Holds up better now than it did back then.
Oh my god! And honestly, I actually was like, it feels advocating for the truth.
So I feel the conversation at the time was, and I think to this day still the conversation is, gay movies aren't always great, right? There's a lot of trash. There's a lot of not great gay movies, and the conversation was, isn't it refreshing that finally we're getting a gay movie that isn't about a coming out story
or tragedy
or a tragic HIV.
Well, I hate to say it. This script, I rewatching it, I was like,
Character,
this script is clean.
Yeah.
These bits, it's easy. From moment one, he's like, I'm trying to write a song. And someone's like, how can someone fall in love in one moment? And he's like, you're right. And sets it up. The whole movie will be about this happening in one night in this day and age and not in a musical.
Yeah.
Clean. And then the bits are clean of like 3 times they're denied a location.
Yeah.
Right.
For great fun reasons.
Yeah.
It's so... I honestly was like, this script in a director today could be a smash fucking hit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I definitely remember, especially I am the senior stateswoman of this table. And so in 1999, I was in my early 20s.
Oh.
Yes. And so, and I would... It was that thing, you know, when you're like seeking out gay movies and anything.
You got to go to the Blockbuster,
right?
And anything that is a gay movie, you were going to know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it was Brokeback. I think the only other movie I'd seen was like these great, critically lauded, dark, all straight people.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountains.
It's interesting that this screenwriter ended up producing Queer as Folk the year after this movie came out, too.
Well, also, I mean, it is like that. This movie and like Boys Life movie anthology and queer as folk.
The real gay trash.
Yeah, I really was like, all these bar scenes are the exact same.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Blue lights,
for sure. Yeah.
Glitter on their bodies,
but actually, kind of look like they went out and shot an actual
in the bars,
New York
gay bars too, which I like.
So the other thing, this was like, obviously I was in acting school. How embarrassing! But I was in acting school, and I was like, rented this movie from my little library where I was mostly just getting hand jobs from strangers. But I was like, let me do my research on the art of being gay, and I rented it, and I was just like, oh wow, this is what a real indie movie looks like. Right. You know, like I just recently watched Day Trippers. Did you guys know that movie?
Yes.
The director of Superbad, I think. But that is another indie movie filmed. It's Parker Posey.
Posey, Hope Davis.
But it's all filmed, again, another New York indie movie. Like, you can see the Boom Mike shadow and
all
shots.
set in one day. Right.
All set in one day. And it is
Greg
a love
Mottola.
letter to New York made by 3 people. A crew of 3. And we don't, do you guys, we don't have indie movies like that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that the independent movie landscape is different now because the only thing that you can really compare it is the stuff that Neon or A24 is making, which is kind of apples and oranges.
Which is like the greatest stars of all our generations are working for them. They have more money than God.
But it's like actual legit indie movies like this don't really get made anymore.
Which is why it's someone's full artistic vision. And it's edgy, and even if it's a little messy around the corner, like sometimes the acting can be a little canned,
right,
or a little planned, but it's still like, God, this is so authentic. Like also, in the bars.
Also kind of scooping Tori Spelling off of 90210, which is kind of brilliant casting.
Also brave for her.
Because you kind of have like an in for a certain audience.
Yes, they were
that
like,
is watching the movie that might be watching an episode of 90210, so that
she was the star power.
She
of
might
the
be
movie.
the reason why somebody ends up renting this movie at Blockbuster.
Oh, it's 1,000. She is, I think, back in the day, I was like, oh, the star of this is Tori Spelling.
Right.
And I hate to say, Tori Spelling, when I watched it in acting class, I was like, everyone's in acting school. I was like, everyone's kind of overacting, except for that last scene. She kills those kids. She is murdering that last scene at that diner.
Yeah.
Just so
good.
And
funny.
She got some really good reviews for this movie, too. At a time
Deservedly.
when she was kind of not taken very seriously. But yeah, I think my big takeaway was that being, 21, 22, and seeing this movie and kind of like, I didn't have a lot of gay friends at that age. All my friends were still my straight friends from high school and college. So I was going out, but I wasn't going to, and I'm from LA, so I wasn't going to West Hollywood or anything. So I was like, okay, this is what gay life in New York could be. And again, it was that thing of, it's not a coming out story. It's not a tragic gay
they're
person.
gay.
Well, and also
it's
Gabriel,
just a night in the life.
Gabriel is not the typical gay man, too.
I want
which
to talk
I think
about
is,
that.
is kind
I
of your
would
real
love-
big in for this material.
I really want to talk
and they
about
didn't
that.
depict typical gay men very nicely in the movie.
No,
They're just trying to steal your man at every minute.
I have some issues with
true to this day.
I have some so I have some issues with some what do you call it? Internalized homophobia.
Yeah, and also like a little purity. I was like,
Sure.
Ooh, I mean,
If we really want to get down to it, it's like, okay.
but it was
on.
good to have because I mean, honest to God, everything I had seen had been like, what's oh my God, boy, what's the one where she's trans and she's hiding it? She's a boy.
Boys Don't Cry?
Boys Don't Cry.
Released
I
in
watched-
99.
Yeah.
Released in 99.
Yep.
Frankly, love that movie. Watched it too many times as a young gay man. But I was like, oh my God, look at this. Just people being, the stakes are kind of low and friendly and positive.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie to watch.
It's a rom-com.
It's a rom-com.
It really is. And it is a pre-9/11 New York.
I know. You see the last
And
shot?
you know what?
You
And
see the last
is the
shot?
The first
is
shot, too.
Is
Oh
the
my
fifth
God.
is the fifth character
New York City.
New York City?
Shut up.
Our pre-9/11 New York City. Okay, so Scott and I kind of talk about this when we talk about New York movies. We are LA girlies.
Yeah.
So we don't know a lot of New York geography or New York neighborhoods.
You guys don't walk.
We don't walk. So I'm going to be like, I think this is the West Village.
Well,
I
there's
think
one
they're by
point-
Christopher Street.
He was like, my apartment's in Chelsea. And I was like, oh, wow, we did just drop a location that I know.
Yeah. So sorry, East Coast listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry, New York listeners. We do drop LA a lot on this show.
Could you imagine
Hey.
a living situation in your 20s
Mama.
where you're all in the same room?
That is New York.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
Kind of blows my mind.
Well, when he's sleeping in the hallway, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, my dear God.
Yeah.
Darling.
Yeah.
But that's New York. Even this scene in the bathroom where I was like, oh, this guy, the director, has clearly lived in New York.
Right.
Because he filmed it very well with like, you could see each character. One character is in the mirror, one character is in the... But I was like, yeah, these bathrooms are small. It's New York and these kids ain't rich.
Yeah. And they really showcase like these locations of just kind of like these grimy hallways and these walk-up apartments and
even the last shot of like the bodegas.
Yeah.
Caliente. I think it says on the last one.
But it still looks charming. It's still kind of
It's New York,
aspirational.
baby. It's romance.
You're still just like, I kind of want to live in this neighborhood.
1,000%.
Maybe
the
not
diner was cute.
sharing a bed with not sharing a bed, but I mean with your straight roommate in one room.
Also,
like, I don't
hookup
know.
culture when you live with someone.
Well, that
too.
felt real, babe.
Well, also,
Come on.
this is hookup culture pre-social media.
Pre-social
pre-apps.
media, so you were picking somebody up from the bar.
the
Remember
train.
cruising? Oh, I've picked up too many married men on the train.
Yeah. So this is a whole other world that like some of our younger listeners may
Also,
not even
I
be
think
aware
that
of.
I think that all of my living situations have been very fortunate. That even when I was with roommates, I did
your own
always
room.
have my own room.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. He was like, you can't, I need the apartment.
Yeah. Their beds were in the room.
Because they just live
Together.
in a studio apartment.
It's giving New York.
in at least a fourth floor walk up. I did
No
love
elevator.
No elevator.
When he's like,
Yeah,
one more, when he's
sorry.
like, sorry, one more flight. I was like, this is real.
Yeah. But the dog, Trixie,
Yeah.
is that a Jack Russell?
Yeah, that's a Jack
Is
Russell.
that Jack Russell? It's a $5,000 dog.
Putting out on the fire escape.
and when he
I
says,
know, I was like,
and he says,
we okay?
go to the backyard.
Yeah, that was cute.
I always thought that was so funny. That was super funny. But yeah, I mean, the New York of it all, I think, is very evocative of
Definitely.
a time and a place. And
It's really giving 90s in a way that I was like, you know, I just do remember cruising.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a great scene where I think they get kicked out of the apartment. And he's like, oh, he's ranting a little bit. And there's another cute blonde boy that walks by.
Right, yeah.
And this movie was
it's
also
like, I'm
giving,
losing my chance.
It's giving sliding doors 3 times in this movie.
Okay.
I was like, oh no, they're on a train, and he almost misses the exit and beeps the door. And then, the end, he almost leaves. And did he hear it?
Like,
Yeah.
what if he didn't get out of that train door?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what if he followed that
Yeah.
blonde because he was like, I just want sex?
Yeah, I'm tired of this. I can't wait around.
What if he did end up a guy with a tattoo on his ass?
Yeah.
What's his name?
They were like
forget.
not saying it, but I was like, is he on Molly? Is he on
Yeah,
drugs?
yeah,
They were
yeah.
like,
To me, I was like,
you're
this-
burnt out. I was like,
That character's
it
out
It
of
was the
control.
90s. It was ecstasy.
was,
It was
called
and it was the one cut with
X.
baby.
Yeah.
The guy with the
Not baby channel.
with the tattoo on his ass. That
Not a cute tattoo.
I can't really judge because I also have a
buff
I'm looking at a
man.
sailor right now.
I also have
I'm
like
looking at a man
I also have a
mermaid.
half naked man on my arm. So I'm really not somebody to judge
Not
his
on
tattoo.
Yours look way better, and they're
It's
shading
not on my
yours.
ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like we were saying, it's evocative of a time of this like kind of pre-social media hookup culture. But I really feel like it's definitely evocative of like an age range of that like kind of like roommate situation, but also like where I think that the Christian character, how old do we think he is?
25.
Early 20s. Yeah.
Early
Out of
20s.
college.
Early to
Yeah,
mid
yeah,
20s.
yeah. And to me, I feel not Christian.
Maybe just recently out of theater.
Christian
Theater,
Campbell.
I think
School.
she's still in love
Yeah.
with him. Obviously.
Yes.
Which I
yes.
actually think was a charming plot point that she's like, "Oh, you're not a lesbian. Which is a weird thing they threw in the last scene.
Yeah, that was
she's like, "You're
weird.
always
Where did that come
saying
from?
I'm a lesbian." I was like, "They must have cut those."
Did
scenes.
they? Yeah, I was like, does he always
Those scenes
say
were
that?
cut.
Yeah.
But I do like that. I was like, "Oh, it's just a girl who's in love with her ex-gay boyfriend,"
Right.
which feels both dated. Too.
Yes.
That
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see that
But
happening
I
so
feel
much
like
anymore.
Christian Campbell's character, Gabriel, is very much in this place where he says things like, "Oh, I don't like telling people that I write musicals because that's Queenie."
He said Queenie.
Yeah.
Queenie. And they also, did you hear?
It's too gay.
Yeah. And then he said the older gentleman, do we know what's his name? Silver hair.
Right.
Perry.
Right.
Perry. He was like,
Steve
"Oh,
Hayes.
are you into 4Gs?" I was like, "Baby,
Is 4Gs?
we never said that word.
I
That
don't
word.
think I've ever
fetch.
heard.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, not a 4G.
I don't even know what you even use for the term
A foursome.
before over a threesome.
An orgy.
4Gs.
Does it just turn into group?
It just
At that point, I'm like, Gene
Yeah.
and Archie.
Yeah, but so yeah, I feel like Gabriel is that guy who's like not super comfortable like with his
Well,
like
he has that
queerness.
little speech where he's like, "I never really thought of myself as gay," and then honestly, it was a good line where Mark was like, "Do you suck dick?"
Yes,
like
yeah,
because then I think you're gay, baby.
Because shut up. Because there's we all know those guys who are just like, I don't like the scene.
But it was the
I don't like
'90s where you're like, I don't want to be gay.
I don't like gay bars.
Yeah.
I don't like
the
gay
scene.
bars.
Yeah.
I don't really.
But it's
relate
like-
to the
but
gay.
it's
I don't
like-
blonde tips. I was like,
Gabriel's
shut
probably
up.
listening to Barbra Streisand though.
Yeah, baby. He's writing a musical.
Yeah. And he's sucking dick.
All right,
so
girl.
it's like, okay.
Pearl. All right, Pearl.
So there's that. I mean, not everybody had that experience, but I think maybe some people, when you're first kind of coming to terms with, I'm out, I want to like date boys, but I still feel like I don't want to come off quote unquote queen.
Yeah, because I want my
like,
dad to love me when I go home for Christmas.
all of that. We talked a little bit about Tori Spelling. I do think she's doing some really great work.
Dude,
here.
I'm telling you that last
Catherine?
scene.
Yeah.
She really kind of killed that diner scene. I was like, that's a masterclass in comedy and of self. Even her on the phone in the beginning, her reveal was a little like, okay, we get it. She gets a hair flip to enter into a scene. But even her being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can you help me run lines?
Yeah.
Yes, the
so funny.
The narcissism
And they've
of
is
just
charming.
like-
And they've gone through this before too.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that she mentions at some point, I forgot what the context was, but she says the line, "Oh, some gay bar that charges $3 for a Diet Coke."
And I'm like, do you
like,
live in LA?
Point me to that gay bar.
Yeah.
I will go. Oh, and that was another thing. Gabriel, when he finally does go to the gay bar, he orders a Diet Coke with lime.
I'm telling
Mama,
you, the purity of the
get
movie
drunk.
is the only thing that I was like, we are trying to hook up and suck dick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what do we think about Gabriel wanting to be blown while playing the piano?
Hey.
I mean, I get it. Especially if like that's like your hobby, that's your thing. I mean, it makes sense that he wants his dick sucked playing.
I was like,
doing something that he loves.
Wait, the other great joke, same scene. Oh, what's your nickname? Beer Can? Right? Do you drink a lot in college?
Yeah, did you drink
Yeah.
alcohol? Oh my God.
That was
Beer can.
so funny.
Yeah. But the whole idea of he's like, okay, you want to get blown playing the piano, so sit down and play. Like, let's do this.
It was
but
charming.
then there's the whole like awkwardness of like he's down there.
He's like, are you uncomfortable? And he's like, it's
When he-
okay.
Just
Okay,
shut up.
I
Let's
am.
just do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get to the sex part, buddy.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Do you remember the first time you walked into a gay bar and there was just pornography?
Oh, I mean,
like, on the
I mean,
TV.
I didn't see that until I moved to LA.
Yeah.
What? How old were you?
I mean, when
Last
I moved
year?
to LA
Last year.
15
years ago.
I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a bar in Chicago. When I saw that, it was that good old '90s porn where people weren't looking at the camera. They were still had a
roll.
fourth wall.
They're acting.
Wait a minute. Is the bar that they go to, is there porn on the TV?
There's not porn, but when he first meets
Mark.
and he's go-go dancing, there's TV screens, and I think it's just the go-go dancers.
Well, let's
Okay,
talk
sure.
about this movie.
Yeah.
Why it made me gay.
I mean,
That scene, and I'm like, oh my god,
JP's
Yeah.
stripper body.
That body.
That is
body.
that is a body of a stripper.
that torso
too.
is a French
Yep.
baguette. It is so long.
Like he should
It is
be
served
like
hot.
It is
he's
very
going to be
long.
one of Mario Diaz's boys on Hot Dog Sunday.
I also they show full bulge.
They
Men
do.
In a
Men
way
in
that I was like
thongs,
giving
too.
her a
Yep.
smoke
Yeah.
of like, hey, whoa, we're not in every other movie about gay that was, before that wasn't an indie movie,
Yes.
would shy away from bulge
Absolutely.
or like ass. And he's bending down getting a $1 bill with his little brown strawberry face in the bar.
And
And you know what? And I have
In a
to
G-string,
say,
yeah.
for the most part, all of these scenes feel pretty authentic. Too.
I really was shocked. I was like,
it's kind of cool that they were able to nail that in a movie made in '99.
It really was. They just filmed it at a gay bar. They walked in, and I was
totally.
It was.
I mean, probably all of the other dancers in the scene were probably just strippers that they just got from bars.
And all the gay guys that
Go-Go
were
boys,
even the other older gay boy who was like, oh man, I used to do that.
I love him.
Italian man. Italian.
Yeah. So another thing that Gabriel said when he was talking to people at the bar, somebody was like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And he's like, well, would I be here if I had a boyfriend? And it's that, like, to me, that was that I'm young, I'm gay, but I'm still kind of new at this. So there's this kind of aura of heteronormativity.
Sure.
Of just like...
You're kind of subscribing to these heteronormative ideas.
And
Gabriel... He hadn't fooled around with anyone yet.
And Gabriel has that throughout the movie. When they go to the other club later on and all the other guys are like rubbing on and kissing on.
Well, and actually, great plot point where he was like, sorry, I normally don't go to this bar and I've been single. I wouldn't have brought you here. I mean, this is like a real argument I have had.
No, totally.
Recently.
Yeah.
With three of my exes.
You know, if you go to...
Sorry,
if you go to a bar...
They know me here.
That's my point. If we go to the Eagle and it's like there's going to be people coming up to us that we know or whatever, it's like, well, that happens.
Yeah, they're going to
probably going to be getting a little handsy with you.
And what am I going to be like? Oh, well, who are they? Like,
yeah, that is heteronormative to be like, oh, you shouldn't even be looking at other guys.
So I just feel like I'm just going to leave if I'm not wanted. It's like, well, come on, let's calm it down a little bit.
Well, if I was dating a hot guy out of my league and suddenly he's kissing other boys, I'd be like, I am a fool. And a drag queen was like, don't date him. I'd be like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. I'm a cave troll, and clearly
I'm wearing a polo.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a goddamn blue Gap polo.
Can we talk
at a gay bar.
about his wardrobe?
Oh,
the pleated khakis,
the pleated
authenticity.
khakis.
Thank God we got him into the damn polo and the jeans.
Wait, can we talk about Mark's outfit? Little cap sleeves, little silver like crop,
that teeny little shirt.
Oh my God, he looked good though. Although he was wearing sandals, that was the only thing.
The sandals we were.
Toes out,
open
bar?
toe shoes on the New York subway.
That is not true. But Calvin's peeking out.
You know,
still
this actor,
yes,
JP, how do you pronounce his last name?
PItoc, I guess.
PItoc?
Yeah.
He came into a job of mine once.
A what?
Yeah.
A what?
He came into a job of mine once. He came into when I worked at Barnes & Noble. He was there with his daughter. I did not say anything because he was with his kid.
I would have been like, I love your work.
Knowing him from
I have $1 for you.
I also know him as the hot guy that works at the crematorium on 6 Feet Under. That Claire ends up.
He is, and he's covered in beautiful
Claire
tattoos.
ends up fucking.
Don't even talk about 6
And
Feet
Ruth
Under.
is
It is him.
and
I
Ruth
just watched that season.
Is admiring all of his tattoos,
and he's got these crazy
when he's
back
having
tattoos.
breakfast one morning.
Oh my God!
And he pees out. And he pees out the window.
You know what? What a good actor! Because I didn't notice it.
So
I can see him in
I
both.
always know him from 6 Feet Under.
And I once again in this moment didn't know this actor's not gay.
Right?
Why am I believing these actors are so gay? The outfits.
I mean,
the outfits, the clothing.
It feels pretty authentic.
It really does look shockers.
You know what Mark was giving me when we were watching it, and I mentioned it to Pete, and he's
Cherub
like, "Yeah,
face?
you know that
Beautiful.
SNL sketch with Pete Davidson where he
Chad.
is Chad, and he's like, okay."
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing he is giving at one point in the movie, they're like, the drag queen, Coco.
Yeah.
She's like, and he's hot. He's charming. And I was like, charming. He's charming. More like monotone and mysterious.
Yeah. Mystery.
He's giving little, which isn't all bad.
Yeah.
Less is more. Talk to Kate Blanchett.
I mean,
subtext, subdude.
I mean, for somebody that cruised you on the subway, it's fine.
These puppy dog eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, what made me gay? Listen, I speak Spanish.
What about the ears?
Yes, you do.
The ears, little Will Smith
ears.
ears. I also, guys, his hands, his chunky little palms
He
are
does
giving
have big man
Disney
hands.
Prince.
Yeah.
They are thick and square like Spider-Man.
Big paws. Yeah.
Anyway, I speak Spanish.
Yes,
now.
you do. You're bilingual.
Yo estoy coqueteando.
Oh. All right, mama. Okay. I have in my notes Gabriel's character is the kind of gay guy that wears saggy boxer briefs. But
Oh, God, wasn't he wearing those plaid ones?
Yeah,
you got
they're
from Gap. That
plaid
really were
Boxer
boxers.
briefs that are not
Yeah.
really form-fitting anymore.
Yeah, they're actually
from
just
his straight
boxers.
brothers.
Yeah.
They're
definitely.
hand-me-downs.
But that's my thing about that character. I was like, he's wearing pleated khakis. He's wearing like plaid boxers. I'm like,
he's self-hating.
Yet you are like a theater gay. Like, get your shit together.
I mean, this doesn't work anymore. But have you seen the crew back? Like he's like not an actor,
right?
He's not dressing for style.
That's true.
I mean,
like,
Mark has those. Mark has those slutty briefs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When he takes them off.
Yeah. Beer can.
A beer can, mama. Okay, so I also have in my notes when we first meet Mark dancing.
Yes.
At the bar.
The torso,
the
blue lights,
and
the bisexual lighting,
all of it.
Yeah.
But so Gabriel is just like, oh, stripper, he's hot, whatever, he's entranced. But we see this moment of someone getting a little handsy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he like pushes him away.
It's me, Julia Roberts.
Throws the dollar back at him and it's just like, I'm out of here.
I would never do that.
So
soliciting.
Yes. So that's telegraphing to the audience, to us, that he's not.
He's got a soul. He doesn't kiss.
He has a code of ethics.
He does not
He
kiss
has a
on the
code of
mouth.
ethics as a go-go boy.
Yeah. So, I
Because
mean.
he threw $1 back when a guy was like, can I blow you?
And not for nothing, at the old days at FUBAR, some of those go-go boys.
If you slipped him a $5, you could fully.
I went to Portland.
You could fully grab.
Oh, Portland! Get out of
Portland,
here.
strip capital of the
yeah.
USA.
Yeah, per capita.
Listen, I think one of the strippers paid me.
Yes.
And I was like, if you need to, let's do it.
But I feel like there was
yeah.
that sweet spot of kind of the 2010s at FUBAR where you could fully probably just see them.
Oh, yes.
I was just in Puerto Vallarta, guys.
Slip off that.
I walked into
Mexico.
a bar.
Yeah.
I saw
Full hard
I saw
dick.
2 poles on one pole.
Hard dick.
Dancing on a pole. I was like,
Yeah.
we've lost the limits. What OnlyFans has done to us.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in situations where it's just like, all right, there is some anatomy right here and now. So, this is a movie. We're trying to like bring in our
like
audience.
I mentioned, but for the most part, I think it feels pretty authentic.
Well,
too.
And it's despite the purity of their relationship. So I was like, okay, we're keeping it as edgy as gay men would.
Yeah.
Coco's like, come in my eye.
Come in
It
the eye.
burns.
It burns.
Playing with. I was just like, you know what? We're keeping the jokes edgy.
Yeah.
Also, I have to talk about this Lori Bagley. She's the beautiful.
She's
my God, we love her.
She is the
With the tits out.
So you know what I know Lori Bagley from.
Well, because she was on. She got a career.
So I know
she got a resume.
I know her from The Stepford Wives.
Oh my God, she's amazing. I just watched that.
It's because her name is Claire.
Yes,
Claire Robic.
She has that voice.
That baby voice.
Which I want to know. Is it real? Are you doing that in every audition?
I think it's a little bit.
I need Sam Shepard to write her a play. I need Paris, Texas too.
Because
Starring
her
her.
name is Claire. And now I know why they call it Banana Republic. But yeah, I definitely know this actress.
Judy, your sheet slipped.
Oh, shit.
Well, cover yourself.
Would you lighten up?
But your titties are hanging out.
You know, in Europe, breasts are breasts. They're very natural and beautiful things. Would you let me be?
Put them away, Judy.
It's not like anything would have happened.
You're not in Paris anymore. Wait, is this the way you've been acting the past 6 months, huh, Judy?
Yes, for the past 6 months, I've been touring France topless. And you want to know something? Nobody seems to care. Get over it, Rich.
What are you doing, Judy?
What does it look like I'm doing? Can't you see I'm getting dressed? Going home to my grandmother's in Neve. Look, here's the keys.
Also, her whole bit holds up.
Yeah, it's good.
Her being like, everyone's a little bisexual in Paris. I was just like, it was free the nipple. It was everyone's bisexual. It was, maybe you should let him talk. And her coaching them through, that was clean rom-com comedy.
I mean,
Even
I
though
feel
her
like
titties are hanging
a
out.
movie like this now, you probably couldn't do that whole scene with their top off.
You know what, though? I actually noticed in the scene, the director doing clearly gay, because the nipples are like cut off half. It's clearly not
It's very
male
tasteful.
gazy.
Right. It's not. Yeah. That's
It's
it.
not that male
not
gazy. It's
gazy,
out for comedy, but then she's also giving a whole thing of like, her boyfriend comes in problematic, and he's like, "Cover up, babe," and she's
Fucking
like,
rich.
"Get over it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is kind of end up being so classy."
I love Judy.
No, yeah. And the whole conversation is just like, dude, in Europe, they don't give a fuck. It's just titties. It's just my body.
and then him being like, "I knew something was doing. You had hairy armpits, baby. Come to LA."
She's in 54, Scott.
She's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
How about
I think was
that?
she in Jawbreakers? She was in a movie with a bunch of girls.
I don't think that she's in Jawbreaker.
I'm seeing 54, which is fun. She
she had a string of movies. Let me see.
Yeah. Stepford Wives is the one where there's a lot of ladies in that.
I mean, yeah, and I do remember her specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's in Poster Boy.
Poster Boy? What is that?
She's in Poster Boy, another gay movie.
Oh.
Thank God.
Yeah.
She's an ally.
But not actually another gay movie, because that movie is a masterpiece.
No, she's not in another gay movie, but she's in a movie called Poster Boy.
Okay.
Which was kind of, I think it came out in 2004.
Lori Bagley, Lori with 2 R's. Interesting.
You know who else was in this movie for one hot frickin' second?
Tell me.
Who's in Pussycat Dolls? And she's got these great eyebrows. She's a character actress. She's on level Parker
Missy
Posey.
Pyle.
Did you
Missy
see her
Pyle.
for a second?
Yeah.
Stealing Tori Spelling's thunder in the
flowers.
play?
Oh, you can have those. I don't have any room.
In the Pussycat Dolls, you mean Josie and the Pussycat?
Yes. Oh my God! Thank you.
I knew what you were talking about.
Honestly, I was like, "Hey, these are people just getting their start. They're in New York."
Yeah, I have in my
Indie
notes
movie.
Missy Pyle and all
Missy
caps.
Pyle.
Also, woman from The
exclamation point.
Office, redhead from The Office.
Meredith.
She's in the
Allies.
writer's workshop.
Giving
at the very
Nooch
beginning. Giving
listening
nothing
to Tori Spelling's little scene that she's performing.
Okay, so the whole idea is, like we were saying, that they just don't have a place for them to like get their trick on. Trick also.
Oh God, that seems problematic.
Yeah, I feel like
hookup. So
was
what is
not
the
really used.
okay? So what is the source behind
feels like-
trick?
I feel
What,
like trick is
prostitutes?
sex work. Yeah,
Sex work.
Yeah.
Pull it, like
And it feels
turn
derogatory.
tricks.
Turn tricks.
Well, and also
but
this
they were
movie-
saying in this movie, like, oh, somebody said, like, oh, you like your trick or get your trick on or whatever. So I think at that time maybe it was interchangeable.
It was
with
in
hookup.
flux. The word was probably
Sure.
growing
Yeah.
into what it grew into now,
Yeah.
but it was too early to nail it down.
Yeah, but I think nowadays trick is a little bit more into the
Trick,
sex
yeah.
work area, John, things like that. Yeah, I think even like when we listen to like Sibling Rivalry or like the Drag Queen podcast, I feel like they might refer to. I think they might say
It's like
trade.
trade. Well, you know trade.
Yeah,
trick feels like trade, and trade is another sort
Yeah.
of not a fully positive word.
Right.
Well, trade also a word that's kind of evolved to what it once
Right.
too.
Yeah.
That it's not
Meant
quite
something
what it
yeah.
meant back in like the 70s.
A lot more
And how
rough and
fast these
tumble.
words change.
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
on, when you're a marginalized community.
Right. And then with things like, Drag Race and social media and all that, it just these are loan words, right? That we're taking from
I mean, club kids.
Club kids.
This
I almost- trans culture, black culture.
I almost see something like trick being fast hookup culture.
Yeah.
Of how
So
it's
my
probably done in
biography?
this movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going for, but now it's like we wouldn't really call it that. But
Yeah, tricked is not what we would.
no, yeah. Hookup, I think. So when we do finally get to the gay club and Gabriel takes his shirt off.
Oh God, are we talking about the first moment? Oh, Gabriel, no, when he's dancing. With
Yeah,
the
when he's
glitter boys.
dancing. Yeah,
It was
just
cute.
like-
I do remember the first moment I ever took my shirt off at a
Oh,
dance.
yeah.
And you know what? I actually was like, this is a cool plot point.
Yeah,
that
it
is
was
very again.
It was
authentic.
giving because he was
Of your
very
first
much
time
like
in a bar being
"Ooh,
like, I
yeah."
guess
It's very,
I'll take it out.
aren't you hot? And he's like, no, I'm fine.
I'm fine. And then him even like slow. They let it build in a good. Credit to the writer
Yeah.
of him being like, I'm getting a little hot. Let me play with my collar.
Right.
And he slips it off.
Little
And I do
zip.
remember when you're like,
Yeah.
Also, how horny to be your first dancing with a bunch of shirtless dudes.
Yeah.
I remember my first time.
Can I tell you though that Christian Campbell's body is slamming?
Yeah.
When he's like, I don't work out. I don't associate with it. I don't
he has
work out.
that
a lot.
teeny little frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got
These
like
guys
these
are so
pecs,
hungry.
Like his body is slamming. I was like, oh, okay. And like we did mention earlier, the pink nips.
Baby, he's got freckles. I'm like, you're a redhead.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
a ginger.
Yes,
They're putting
indeed.
makeup over your freckles like you're Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God.
Is this before or after they go to his apartment when they run into Tori printing out her...
After.
That's after.
That's
that
the
was
first.
the very beginning.
Okay,
yeah.
when she's printing out her
Oh
resume
my God.
We should
A
talk-
fax
on the-
machine?
on the old... On the
Dot
old
matrix printer.
dot
Yeah,
Yeah, her
matrix
resume
printer.
was with a blue ink.
Yeah. That kind of when your printer paper had the the perforated holes in the side. Yeah.
Also, credit to the props master of this. She never let go of that umbrella. She had that umbrella to the last.
The whole time she had the umbrella at the last
Who
scene.
is the continuity coach?
She had the umbrella in the diner. I noticed that too.
Tori's a professional.
Tori. It was probably Tori. Like, my character has this umbrella.
Thank you. I did notice that as well. Okay, let's see. What have we not gotten to? Okay, they're trying to. Oh, one of the first things that they try to do when
they go over to Perry's piano bar.
The piano bar. And I love the idea
by Steve Hayes.
I love the idea
Hayes.
that he says, my friend Perry has got a gig tonight, so maybe we can just go fuck in his apartment.
Very New York.
Very New York.
So this movie was, again, it made me be like gay, the appropriate gay of my age level, because I was genuinely sleeping with men who looked like Perry. You know what I mean? On the down low.
What?
Yeah.
That's okay, though.
Well, no, honestly, Perry's hot. I was like, Perry's pretty hot. That head of hair,
such
that
a fun
square
character.
head.
I was like, I love, the flat top.
But so I was always sleeping. This movie feels like a nice love letter between those two generations.
Sure. Yeah.
That I was like,
well, because Steve Hayes' character never feels too judgy.
Right.
Nothing.
Too,
Never.
which I love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And he's like, I will absolutely support you.
Yeah.
And it's giving the movie also gives him a platform to do that old gay of like riffing and camp and performative and on, and I just thought it was a lovely love letter between these two generations.
Yeah, and when he was just like, hey, I got something kind of crazy to ask you. Yeah,
and he told him my futon.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. I'll let you in right now. And then he meets his ex in the street. And that scene is very charming, too.
I was charmed. And even him being like, yes, sir, call me sir. Yeah. And his boyfriend's like, I miss you. We just fit. That was a funny line.
Yeah.
We just fit.
So it's interesting because every now and then, Mark's character, I feel like goes back and forth between like aloof to I'm really into this.
Sure.
Right? Do you get that?
Oh yeah, I will say it's there's a through line lacking, I think, in the performance at all times.
Yeah.
Of like, I as an audience, I'm like, sorry, are you on board?
Yeah.
It's only after the glitter dance club,
yes,
where he's like, I'm with someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, now you're like kind of fighting for him.
Yeah.
And then it was, I thought, a great script plot point of being like, him being nice to Perry. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, it's like, oh, maybe I don't just want to hook up with you. Maybe I see you're a nice guy. And I like easily plot point written in, but I was like, works, clean, makes sense. Yeah. Logical moment.
Yeah, because it's in that scene where he just immediately plays along.
Yeah, and he's like, we don't need your place. Go, you guys should get back together. You old queens are in love.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel's like, that was really nice.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, maybe he's not quite as aloof as I thought he was. He's a little bit more on board with this. Okay, yeah, I like that.
And he lives with his mother.
Yes, the old lady that he lives with.
I mean, I called that from the minute that he said it. It's
right,
like, I live with an old lady.
Like,
I was
it's
like,
the grandma or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've seen movies. We know how this works. We're movie literate. Christian Campbell, on the other hand, he doesn't.
But couldn't believe how many opportunities they found for him to take off his shirt.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, before all the roids, really, just a really good. That guy was just eating chicken breast,
and broccoli,
and
some protein shakes.
What gyms did they have in New York in the 90s?
Planet Fitness.
There's a scene where one of the Blondie circuit gays says, "What gym do you go to?"
Yes.
And that offhand, like
he just grabbed him.
Yeah.
What gym do you go to?
What gym do you go to?
It's giving WeHo.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that club scene because that's the kind of thing that the movie, I think that they're trying to do is kind of show like the different levels, especially in a place like New York, where it's like, you could go to a piano bar.
Yes.
You can go to a dance club where you take your shirt off the minute you walk in.
I might have issues with the line out the door that doesn't quite match the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd was pretty
actual
thin.
space. Wow. But I get that when you are when you are an independent movie, maybe you can only have
it was the exact same.
So many
extras.
people
from the
fill
line.
Everyone line
fill
up.
the
Now
frame.
get in.
Yeah, that you kind of have to work with what you got.
Yes, it was not too crowded.
But for the most part, I think feels pretty authentic.
Oh my God.
To a
Yeah,
like
I've been
a gay
to that
club.
gay bar.
Yeah.
I swear, yeah.
Well, and that's what I always as a getting to be an elder gay myself. If I ever do kind of have younger friends that are just like, I don't know where to fit in, like the gay community or whatever, I kind of have that whole thing, that whole like prepared speech where I'm like, it's not what you think. It's not just every club is not the club where you have to take your shirt off when you walk in. There's other things. There are, I mean, there's not a lot of piano bars anymore, but there are places where it's like, maybe it's more musical theater inclined. Maybe it's a little bit more, there's go-go boys that you can just watch.
I mean, there's still those open piano bars. There's a great one in WeHo.
Okay.
And they do a karaoke. So it's a little different.
Like the Cruise.
You can pick a song.
Yeah.
And I just went to one recently and I was like, hey, we're still here.
I love that.
They were singing Hamilton.
I love
these kids.
We're not big Hamilton girlies. We never saw it, but I do love singing songs, and I love karaoke, and we love a piano bar.
But with a piano, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. That's fun.
They still exist. They're rare, though.
Yeah. But it's that thing of just like when you're young, you just have this idea in your head of the multi-level bar club where everybody's shirtless, the Queers Folk bar.
What's the? Is it Babylon?
Babylon, baby.
On Queers Folk.
You just have that idea.
Gay
of,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Gay Pittsburgh. That was the other thing. I was like, the only thing I'll come from the movie too. I was like, where are all the black people?
Yeah.
This is New York.
Yeah.
Because I watch Queers Folk, and you're like, yeah, these people are white. It's Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, their little thing. But I was like, at least there was a lot of Latino, and even that song was in Spanish.
Yeah.
It was a cute song.
Scott was clocking a lot of the covers in this movie.
Oh my God,
baby!
I Am Woman. Hear me roar. Hear me roar. I am
disco.
I Am Woman. Club
the
remix.
Disco club remix.
And I love that.
That was
all
the
of
gayest
all of
moment
these songs
of the
when
movie.
you Shazam them. Nowhere to be found.
Lost to
on
time.
streaming now. It's like nothing was cleared with the publishing rights.
It was on
of
Napster.
any of these covers.
Yes.
It died with Napster.
You have to get the physical soundtrack.
I was going to say,
Trick
listeners, if
on
you
compact
you
disc.
walk into a Salvation Army and you find the CD soundtrack of Trick,
Salvation Army,
buy it, mail it to us.
I don't know about the Salvation
That was
Army.
the moment when I first watched the movie that I was like, this is so gay.
Yeah.
When they were dancing this everyone were, and now I'm like, yo, that's how gay I am.
Love it.
Look, I was like, look at that body glitter. I gotta buy some on Amazon.
I also love hearing those club anthems by like black women.
Yes, we love it. We love a good black lady screaming.
I love a good black lady
singing their face off and not getting residuals.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Not getting paid what they deserve.
Maybe a thin white lady on the CD cover. You never know.
That's how Donna Summer got her start.
I know. But I mean, take us back. Mm-hmm. Those days are long gone.
I was just in PV. Had a great time dancing.
I guess that if you were to do an updated Trick, I guess that you would just have to add app culture to it. But
what a night.
But I think for the most part, though, I think
Sniffy's the movie.
I think that it's something. I think it's a movie that you would probably just have to do minor adjustments.
You know what?
By just adding the social media app aspect.
The fight.
The
fight would have happened over the phone.
And maybe that's how they meet, too.
Because he wouldn't have gone back to his... Because I, too, was like, surprisingly, not too much would have changed.
Right.
With app culture,
like, they don't meet off
Yeah.
of a train. They meet off of Sniffies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're still trying to find again, this is relatable where you can never be alone in LA.
Right.
It's like how you can't find a place to be alone. I mean, was a park not an option?
What is the
I watch Angels in America. You can have sex in Central Park.
The Central Park. What is the meme of from Clueless? Brittany Murphy, you're a top who can't host.
Story of my life.
I mean, no one hosts anymore. That's the problem. So yeah, I think that's definitely something that can be included in there and maybe an update of this. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think LA doesn't have a lot of like park outdoor areas.
Don't?
Well, maybe there are.
Have you been on Sniffies? I think they've got it mapped.
Yeah, well, not in the suburbs where we are.
No, that's right. Not by the library.
The Sniffies locations are always really interesting, though.
Yeah, they're not always
of
correct.
what they are.
I've gone to those bathrooms in Chase Bank.
The top floor of a parking structure.
Not the bathroom.
I walked around that parking structure. I got a sunburn, babe.
Yeah.
I was looking for an STI. You know what I got?
Burned.
2nd-degree burn.
Literally.
Right on the tip of my nose. Not as active as they say.
Mama.
But I was like, what would really change? And you're right. They could still meet on the train. I definitely cruise people on the train. But I was like, the fight. I was like, you'd be having this over text.
Yeah.
And how un-cinematic
Right. Yeah. And I kind of hate when movies do the whole like texting on screen thing. Yeah.
Do you remember when he would even him just showing up to his apartment and him again, great script. He spent the night out in the hallway before. Mm-hmm. So of course he's like waiting in the back. I was like, oh yeah, that's great. That it's easily why he could run into him again. But I was like, I also thought it was so New York he was buzzing and he couldn't get in, but he got in from somebody
else coming out.
And I was like, this is city.
Well, I mean,
life.
we've lived in apartment buildings like that.
Oh, babe, that's how I get into every.
I just buzz
that
everybody.
or a window,
and
somebody will let you in.
I am still on the call list of my old apartment building that I can still buzz myself in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've called the manager and I'm like, he still gets calls.
She's
I removed him. I'm like, well,
my last name is Y, so if you press up, I am the first number.
Oh no! And people are just like
maintenance people are calling.
Yeah, every Domino's and maintenance is like.
But it comes in handy when you have a random package that happens to be delivered to the wrong address that you can go there and pick it up.
I was just like, buzz yourself in, mama, and he did, and it worked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so we should talk about I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but the almost last scene in the they kind of get back, they reconcile, they're like, okay, let's kind of hang out again, and they go to this diner.
The diner scene is really
the diner scene's really good.
Just honestly, I remember after the first time I watched it, that's kind of what stuck with me.
It's a good showpiece for Tori.
Oh my God. And I think it's when she's strongest.
Yeah.
She's firing on all levels.
Yeah.
And the comic timing is great. And her friends are funny.
The friends are all so good. The one lesbian that's just like staring at her the whole time.
Even her just jumping topics as much as we are.
I feel like we've been the Gabriel character in this situation too.
Just kind of sitting there
with our
like,
friends.
What is happening?
I also thought it was such a funny beat that he's like, "You have been monopolizing this whole conversation," and everyone's like,
"I think we've all been
funny.
there."
Yeah, it doesn't go the way you think it does.
Or actually, have I been the Catherine character? I don't know.
I would just like to talk a little bit about the waitress.
Oh, I love that character. We didn't have any ranch, so you're getting Thousand Island.
Oh my God, that was great.
You howled at that line.
Well, she is she's in License to Drive with the Coreys.
Who is she in License to Drive?
She works at the DMV. The God giveth
and the DMV
taketh away. She rips up.
Oh, are you familiar with License to Drive?
No, but I know the Coreys.
It's pretty stupid.
And she's got like big red hair and blue eyeshadow. But yeah, I thought the waitress was so funny because she was like, "Didn't we order cheese on these fries?"
I thought it was so New York, and they're like, "Should we ask for it?" And then it's that line, and being like, "Nah, we didn't." Stressed.
What did she say? We didn't have ranch, so we gave you Thousand Island.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so funny,
so good.
And then, oh my God, them just eating those fries. That also felt. I also like how poor everyone was.
Yeah.
You know, that feels like so many movies today is house porn.
Oh,
right.
We have to talk about Tori Spelling's off Broadway of
what was
Salome, the all-female production of Salome set in a prison. Which that is
so stupid,
stupid writing right there.
I'm telling you, there's jokes in here that
is definitely these writers that have sat through so many shitty,
that's personalized.
Yeah, yes,
shitty off-Broadway theater productions.
My friend's terrible show that I just have to go to.
I also loved her joke being like, "Don't let them pressure into paying you for paying for the ticket. I put you under a comp." And I was like, I love it. Only in New York are they like, you have to pay. I'm pretty sure I got a comp. No, you have to pay.
Don't let them pressure you. Do you want one or two comps? Just give me the one. It's fine.
Oh my God.
I think that at the time, Tori did get a lot of good reviews for this.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of
I also was like,
unexpected.
Is this her peak of her career? I didn't watch 90210, but I know she's not the strongest showing for the whole time for anybody on this.
I would say peak Tori Spelling is probably around 97.
Why? What happens in 97?
I mean, it's when she's in something like Scream 2. It's when I would say 90210
about her in Scream.
90210 is kind of
by Tori Spelling?
Also 90210 by 99 it was on the downhill slide.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think this was the
it was
last.
not great.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
no one was really watching 90210 in 99.
What's the deal with making her hair red? Was that trying to make her more authentic? Because she is a blonde.
No, yeah.
She looks so much better as a blonde.
Well, the thing, Tori Spelling is actually a brunette.
Well, I mean, yeah,
That's not what her colorist says.
We've seen her on The Love Boat.
We've seen her on the Love Boat. I mean, everybody thinks of that bleach blonde hair from
90210.
the college years
it's
of
fried on
90210, and it is fried.
Yeah.
She's also real thin. She's so skinny. This is the 90s.
yeah.
What were we doing to women's
But
bodies?
but my thing that
And
I
only
will
wearing
kind of
leggings.
go to bat for Tori Spelling on something like 90210 is that she really took Donna Martin and made it her own. That is entirely a creation of Tori.
Yeah.
That Tori was, I mean, she was Aaron Spelling's daughter.
I know. It's nepotism at its worst, but also
she
we
might
got
have
the
that story
character.
that she went to the audition in disguise and went
just
under
like
a pseudonym.
Nicolas Cage has a
but I
different
mean,
name.
she got that role for Aaron because of her dad.
Yes.
But I think that she kind of took that role and created her own.
Well, you know
like
what?
that,
She
I
brought
think that
herself
it
to
is
every
it is
character.
very
Yeah.
Tori when you watch that show that she pretty much like workshopped Donna Martin and created that character from the ground up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for a show like that, I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, people get in on nepotism, and you know what? Maybe they end up deserving to be there by the end.
That's true. I mean, Scott, you're not quite believing that Laurie Snelling went in to reach for this role. And she got it on her own merit. But no, yeah, I definitely remember at the time just kind of reading in like, you know, LA Weekly or whatever that it was kind of this revelation that she was really good. I mean, it's a comedic role, and the best parts of Donna Martin on 90210 is the comedy that she brings to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying
Although
that,
she was crying in that cry scene. I was like,
no,
okay,
I mean,
Tori.
yes. I'm not saying that Tori Spelling is like this, you know, grade A comedian or anything, but I am saying that
No. But
she
she was
as a
she was
comedic
doing
actress
a hard thing of like in that last scene of just being like, just run and talk like a person, and
Yes.
you're funny enough.
Yes,
And it was
absolutely.
funny. It's giving what's her name in Clueless of like maybe you don't know why it's funny,
Right.
but it is funny, and honestly, just keep doing it.
The Haitians.
I don't know if it's craft, but it is subconscious.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
the Haitians
Mm-hmm.
want to come to America.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of authentic to that gay guy, straight girl friendship that like you can have these
Yes.
fights that might get a little deep sometimes, but at the end of it, you're just like, all right.
Although she never learned her lesson that she was monopolizing every conversation.
She really was.
And I was like, okay, she can learn that maybe she's being asking too much.
Sure.
Also, read the room, babe. They want to have sex.
Yeah.
Get out of the apartment.
It's been hours. I love though when he's like, you and your girlfriends, and the one gay guy's like, oh.
I'm sorry. I have to. That gay guy in the last scene had my funniest line I've seen in a movie in 10 years. She's crying. They're reconciling. And he's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, you owe me $4 for the fries.
Yeah.
Just threw it in there, and the movie moves on.
Did they walk out on the bell?
No,
No, they left cash. I thought so.
The idea was that the friends left cash and he took it.
When he looked at the
pay
bill, there was
rest.
cash
Yeah,
already.
okay,
and I
that's
was
good.
like, again,
Because I thought that they
continuity.
flirted
Yeah.
with the bill when they walked out.
Yeah. Well, they went to the bathroom before they paid, but they paid off screen.
How cute! I thought their first kiss was going to be in a public bathroom, and I was
Yeah.
like, very gay, authentic.
Sure.
At the urinals?
At the urinal, but they didn't.
They
I
did.
got scared rewatching,
held
and I was
off.
like, do they not kiss in the movie? Is this so 90s? There's
Oh,
no
God,
gay
Can
kiss.
you imagine if they didn't kiss? After all that, like
All
edging
of
the
that.
entire time? No.
How sweet was their little gentle touching?
It was nice.
When they were like, we might kiss, I was like, well, this is giving a little lesbian period piece. But
Yeah.
okay.
And then finally he's just like, you know that old lady that I told you I lived with? It's my
My
mom.
mom.
I live in Brooklyn.
Wait, but I did like the phone number button.
Yes.
Of
that was
being
good.
like, he gave me his phone number and it was the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah,
And then at the end it was like, you got me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Sunrise.
Not his vaguely ethnic mother
Not-
answering the phone. Bueno?
Mío? ¿A dónde eres?
Yeah. You haven't come home yet. He has his own line. It's the late 90s. We all had our own lines by then. If you didn't, you're crazy. Yeah, I think there's some really good authenticity to a lot of the characters and their relationships. So, I mean, parts of the movie are heightened, but at the end of the day, I think they really kind of bring it down to earth. And
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yes, and it is kind of sweet in the end.
Yeah.
And I never got that. The movie also never told me that they were true love. But you're like, oh my God, they're going to date for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It kind of leaves it on just like, okay, he gave me his real number.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask him out.
Yeah. Which I feel like in gay world is like pretty good.
Yeah, baby. We all know one night in gay world is a year in a relationship.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, they haven't even had sex yet.
I know.
You got the real phone number.
Wait, we didn't even talk about the song.
Oh,
Enter you. It did. Hey, listen, by the 5th time we heard it, that song was catchy.
I was going to say, we did hear it in its entirety twice.
Yes.
They
know how to make a song catchy.
Yeah.
You put it on repeat.
As sung by Tori. Yeah. Once you hear it twice, you're good.
I think Tori's really funny in that scene.
Tori is funny.
Yeah, she's good in that scene.
When they're doing the workshop at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I do like, too, that the friend Perry at the workshop is just like, I'm just going to break it down.
Oh, I know. He's like, hey, it was funny.
You need to rework this
Why
shit.
would she do this? It's a musical. He had good notes.
Yeah, no, he
Honestly,
had really good notes.
Which is also nice to see an actual good friend. Also, that older gay was really taking care of that young gay the whole movie in a non-diminishing way.
Right.
Yeah. He really was
definitely.
like, oh, here's some really notes. You should be brave. What do you say? Be a maverick. Be a maverick.
Yeah. And also in a way that wasn't like he's the older gay and Gabriel is like this young, cute boy. And it was never like predatory.
He never wanted to sleep with him.
Yeah.
That was actually very positive.
Yes.
Put that on screen.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in the real world, in the real gay world, they already did fool around, and it's like just there.
Yeah, probably.
But,
Let's be honest. I was sleeping with Perry's.
Yeah, maybe
he's more my type.
Maybe Gabriel, the character, is not, but in a few years down the line, they'll have their little tryst.
The movie did give me the false belief that I could fall in love with a go-go boy.
Sure.
We could all
Which
fall in
that
love with
is
go-go boys.
doing God's work. That's heteronormativity. Believing you can have a relationship you don't want to.
I mean, there's always that guy that shows up at Fubar with the flowers for the guys in the boxes.
When the final days of Fubar, when they had BFD. I don't know. Were you in town for BFD?
I was.
Okay. So the final days of BFD, which listeners, if you're not familiar, BFD stands for Big Fat Dick.
Did you ever actually do the big fat dick photo in the back?
Yes, I did.
I did.
Scott
of course I did.
Scott was the king
you go back in the alcohol room.
So listeners.
It was a Polaroid, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean when I did it, they would actually
at the very end.
It was a digital camera, and they would print it out.
Print it on a fax.
No, on photo paper.
Yeah.
It was like a nice.
When I was packing up one of our old apartments, I found my photo,
just an 8.5 by 11 of his balls.
8.5.
Just
congrats.
in like a book, and it was just a giant photo of my cock.
Listeners, listeners,
we need to
explain
explain
the story. For about over 15 years, was it Mario or was it Johnny?
I think it was Mario.
Mario Diaz.
Yep.
And Johnny McGovern.
Well, I mean, I think that BFD was Mario.
Mario Diaz. Threw a party at Fubar in West Hollywood, and it was called BFD, and it was on Thursdays. Big Fat Dick. And the idea was, and in the early days, was you would go to the back room, and they would take a Polaroid, you whip out your junk, they take a picture, you took the Polaroid to the bartender, and you got a shot or a drink or whatever.
But don't they judge it at the end? Of
so
who
it evolved into a whole party.
It involved the big clothesline of the photograph.
I remember
then
the clothesline.
It turned into a close, and they would print out these pictures, or they would do the Polaroids, and they would put them on the clothesline, and the DJ would shine a flashlight, and everybody would cheer.
Sometimes there would be a butt shot.
I
liked when you would see boobs too.
Oh God!
Because ladies wanted the.
Get in on the action.
Wanted to get on the action.
Yeah. Show me some boobs.
Now, towards the end, was it like a gift card? Would you get like a $50 bar tab?
I think that you just got like a bar
like
credit.
a $30 bar tab or something like that.
Today that would get you 3 Diet Cokes.
I did it maybe twice.
Would hate it.
And I don't think that you even got the shot. It was just you just put up the photo.
Yeah. I think they did the judging and then you won something, but not everybody got
But it was
shot.
that weird thing that you go in the back where they have all the alcohol.
This sounds amazing.
And you just had to
Take it out.
Take it out.
Yeah, like a doctor.
And you were usually
Your doctor
standing
does that, right, guys?
next to
Your
somebody
doctor
that
does.
was doing the same exact thing.
Yes,
too.
yes. It's very Army. It's giving Hair at the musical.
I love it. Yeah, but I mean, these are the trials and tribulations of gay life in America.
If any of these listeners are not gay, please go gay. It's the best.
I mean,
This is why gay culture is so much fun.
Yes.
Being straight so boring,
guys.
What kind of bars can you take your
what are you
dick
guys
out
talking about?
on
Zelda?
purpose? Not Zelda. They're talking about Game of Thrones or something. I don't know.
Do you know what we also saw at Fubar once? Do you remember when we saw a go-go boy pretty much lunge at... No, it was somebody that was sitting at the bar that pretty much lunged at one of the guys standing on the box.
Yeah.
Like happily?
Like
it
to
was
fight him.
Wild.
Passion?
Like to fight him.
Pretty much tried to put his hands around his neck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's his ex.
Okay, so where
is
this
trick
whole
two.
story was going was that they would have these like go-go boys at these party nights at Fubar, and there was one in particular that was like a little younger looking, a little boyish looking, and his whole thing was that he was like a gymnast and he would do like splits and like splits on the wall.
Oh yeah,
and like shake the booty and all that.
He'd be twerking
and twerk
right against the wall.
And so
twerk,
there would be a guy that would come with like bouquets of flowers and like, and we were like, this man believes that is his boyfriend.
Yeah, that's called. We live in LA, the city of Delulu,
Delulu Central, and this man believed that was. And I think that this is a phenomenon that happens at straight strip clubs.
You know? This is why the bouncers have to walk.
Yeah.
We're appropriating
the ladies to their car at the end of the night.
That's nice.
Yeah,
because people don't understand that people are getting paid for this.
Yes, no, and this is the real heteronormativity of like gay world is the stripper culture and these regulars that go and just develop this relationship in their head. And so so the whole time me and Scott were like, these people are going to this club and just like believing that that's their boyfriend, that this is a relationship.
I've never done that with a stripper.
No.
I'm generally avoiding relationships even with non-strippers.
I mean,
I have a Peter Pan complex.
Who doesn't? There have been certain strippers that I've just been like, well, are they going to be there tonight? What'll I wear?
I absolutely fall for their move where I'm like, that stripper likes me for me.
I think that he really just sees
I'm
me.
special.
I'm special.
He asked what my name was.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give him a 20. I'm going to walk home. I want to have money for my
When
cat.
they get down on the haunches to really look you in the eye and talk to you, that's when you know it's real.
It works.
I'm just
and
saying.
sometimes you'll get a kiss on the cheek.
Oh yeah, baby.
Too.
You know, I mean,
it's bad when they kiss you. They get 100 from me every time they kiss me.
Not for nothing, but the three of us at this table, you know, we got some face cards going on.
We got face cards.
So, you know, maybe we do have a little something.
We could have been in Trick.
We could have. But
it's a face card movie.
it really
Both
is.
those boys, those
really
lead boys, they got faces of cherubs.
They do. They absolutely do. But I mean, those exotic dancers, they'll get you.
They always get me.
Yeah.
Except now in this day and age, it's all straight dudes at the Abbey.
Yeah.
Well, the Abbey. You mean the Pink Pony Club?
The Pink Pony Club.
I mean, I always tell my straight coworkers with really good bodies that I'm just like, you want
to clean up?
Do you want to think about it? It is a lot of straight guys do it.
Yeah.
So
in LA,
just think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make your money for your bottled waters.
Yeah. But I mean, with the closing of Fubar and the one that we could have walked to, but we never could because we didn't move there in time.
Fault Line.
With the closing of Fault Line and Fubar.
Oh, God, I miss Fault
Yeah.
Line. That was Go-Go Boys.
It's like, where do we go for good? I mean, Precinct.
You're right. Where do we go for Go-Go Boys?
You go to Precinct on Thursday.
And whatever. We've obviously moved forward in body positivity.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
Thankfully.
That was a little thing dated in the movie.
Yes.
I was like, oh, God, these little twinks with abs.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun about Precinct is that they can kind of have the nights with the thicker guys, too.
Thank God.
Yeah. We love it.
That's going to get a 30 from me.
30. A $30 bill.
That's my $30 bill. That's going in that jockstrap.
Yeah. That's the thing about West Hollywood that since we don't go a lot, we're just like, Rage is gone. Where do you go for like, put some dollars in some jockstraps?
Also, okay, I'm going to ask this. Where do you go for, I don't know of a back room in LA?
No, LA doesn't
Is it
really
Bullet?
have that anymore.
No.
Bullet has some nights that do cuckoo stuff.
Oh, like a dark room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Bullet has kind of like a mini maze.
Yeah.
It's small though.
Depending on the evening.
Because even these kids in Trick, they were like, "Where should we go?" Remember when he's like, "We should go to a bar," and he's
Go
like,
to the bar,
"Why do we need to go to a bar?" I was like,
You're like,
"What
hello?
gay man would ever say that?"
Yeah.
Because like, just find a room with a dark room.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like in New
In
York,
New York?
in the 90s,
Maybe find an alley.
It would have probably been pretty easy.
Yeah. But LA, I feel like Bullet has some nights where there is some stuff going on, but not every night. So it's like kind of hit or miss. But
Yeah, I kind of miss even dark rooms. We had the Jackhammer in Chicago.
Why didn't they ever mention going to a bathhouse in this movie?
Oh,
do you think that really would have like maybe we shouldn't even go there?
That's crossing the line.
I'm telling you.
maybe that is crossing the line.
They were like, this
Yeah.
movie was still trying to cross.
Like we have to make this runnable blockbuster
for straight people.
Yeah.
Let's let straight people be able to watch it.
He threw the condom to the girl when she was emptying out her purse.
That was such a charming moment.
Yeah.
She's like,
I
what are you
that
looking
moment.
for?
Yeah.
She's like, a condom.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have one.
Here
I
you
was
go.
like, oh my God, allies.
Yeah. So I feel like in 1999, this is a pre-prep,
Yeah.
pre-doxy
Oh, God.
pep world.
It doesn't exist.
So you still have to be careful.
Condoms.
And I think a bathhouse might have crossed the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it would have made the characters to that to the 1999.
It would have ruffled too many feathers.
People
Yeah.
would be like,
Yeah.
take away their rights.
It would have been a lot.
Yes. Yeah. This isn't Tales of the City.
Tales of the City.
Yeah. Because that was set in the 70s.
Well, and
so that
also
was like, they went
the
crazy.
closeted
Yeah.
husband in Tales of the City goes to the bathhouse
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, there's like a whole like glory hole like scene in one of them. Like they go crazy in those. But again, that's the 70s. That's definitely specifically pre-AIDS.
When I don't know what it was like to be out and gay and living a gay life in the 90s.
Yeah.
And were we still so afraid of
Yes.
HIV?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Pete, what was the MTV show?
Real Sex. No, Real Sex was HBO. MTV was Sex in the 90s.
Sex in the 90s.
Sex in the
Yeah.
90s. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, at least to me, being like 21, 22, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think it was definitely something that was at least on my mind, but I was still very like new to all of it.
Because it's not even mentioned at all in this movie,
No.
Trick, which is funny.
Yeah, it's
Again,
not.
you know, it's
Just the one condom scene. Just
the
throwing-
one
tossing
condom
the
scene.
condom.
I was like, oh yeah, we're talking about condoms.
Yeah.
But it is
And
like
it's the straight couple who uses it.
the arguments we're fighting now for trans movies of like, can we have movies where trans people aren't being murdered,
Right.
Or we're not being? Can we just have positive ones?
Yeah.
And
They're
now
just
I'm like,
they're just playing regular people.
yeah, they're just like they're playing who they are,
Yeah.
and living lives that they live,
Yeah.
which is trans joy. Just like, so this movie was like, oh, this is gay joy when we didn't have lots of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And like, not even gay joy, gay like banal joy,
Right.
Not like transformative joy, but like a great night out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. That was my big kind of like takeaway when I was that age. And there were some movies that kind of went in that era. There's a really kind of fun Sean Hayes movie called Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss that was I want to say a couple years before this. That was kind of the same thing. It was just like a fun gay guy in New York kind of living his life, right? And for me, who was trying to find as much gay media as I could because it wasn't as easily available.
What were you doing with that media?
But you know, like I say this a lot, there was no Heartstopper. There was no like kids in high school being gay on TV.
Was this the
right?
same year as Get Real? I think it is. I think Get Real came out in 99.
Tell me what Get Real
Get
was.
Real is like the gay Heartstopper of the late 90s. It's about the British kids.
No, this is something else. No, you're thinking of something else. No, it is called Get Real.
When did Y Tu Mama Tambien come out?
2002.
Okay.
Scott, that movie that you're talking about, Get Real, is 1998. Yes, indeed. And then the other one about the Irish kids,
Beautiful.
which is called Beautiful
Things. We've talked about it on the show.
Yes.
The Irish kids in high school and the one's the singer?
No, that one's something else.
That's Andrew Scott. Whatever.
Beautiful Thing is 96.
In the 90s, it was
but those were European,
And also those were from
European,
Europe.
babe. American films. Because when did My So-Called Life come out? Because that was
94.
94.
and that had Ricky.
And I don't know, am I crazy? But that was the first time I'd seen a gay sounding, gay face, gay person being gay.
Totally.
And
On
was
television?
And was Ricky on My So-Called Life? Did they have to sugarcoat it as being bisexual?
Oh God!
Even in '94,
you are amazing. Were they doing that? No. I think maybe there's an episode he says, and then I think he's gay.
Yeah, at the very beginning, he tells Claire Danes that he's bisexual,
like we all do.
But
sure,
yeah, but he
we're
has
all
a
calling Claire Danes saying I'm bisexual. Don't
Who
tell me
didn't
that.
come out to Claire Danes?
Yeah.
Just to see that crying
That's
face.
my Beth.
But he does have a realization moment.
Yeah.
And he says, like,
I'm gay.
Gay.
He admits,
and that's
like,
the thing.
admits to it.
And it's the idea of, like, I've never said I'm gay before. And
I remember there being press of being like, oh, this is the first.
He was a kid. It was a minor.
no.
That's the thing. It's like you're letting a kid make this decion. When did you choose that?
Decision.
Okay.
That's true. I chose to be gay.
Yeah.
The outfits are cuter.
So this is... and the clubs are a
the
lot
clubs
more fun.
are the go-go boys will fall in love with you
The
in
back
one night.
rooms. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the conversation in the 90s and this period of these movies, you know? And yeah, maybe there were some, like, European movies that kind of dealt with it a little differently. But I feel like American movies were just like, you're dying of AIDS or you're, you know, you're...
Well, especially in the late
getting beat up.
90s, it was the boom of the teen movie, too.
Oh, yes, it was.
Right. Yeah.
10
This
Things I
is-
Hate About You, She's
Yeah.
All That.
This is nice because they are not teens. I mean,
Yeah.
no
Yes,
offense,
exactly.
But as
Young.
adult man, like, God, can we just have stories kind of about adults?
Yeah.
I know high school is the best way to set a microcosm of a world, but like to have just adults surrounded by other adults of different ages.
Right. But it's a good... I feel like their age is a little unclear, but I think they're definitely in their mid
They're
to
living on
early
their
20s.
own-ish.
Yeah.
Is
So-
it weird they never bring up Mark's that he's Latino?
I think they say his last name at some point.
Again, his name is Mark.
Yeah. Didn't she say he's Mark, like, Mendoza or something? I think it was a double M name. But it was clearly like a Latino last name. So he's in Brooklyn.
He's in Brooklyn, that's right.
He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a funny joke about he's like, I was dating this Italian guy, and then I think he was lying to me. I don't think he's Italian. I think he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. But no, you're right. I think it's in an era of a lot of like this teen movie like boom, in an era where queer representation is so kind of just
scarce.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
definitely not mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this movie did a lot
Also,
for
this is distributed by Fine Line, which was the sort of the art house label of New Line at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Again, this movie was so cool to go back to and be like, this is what a real indie movie looks like.
Yeah.
And for it to be that as good as it is such a testament to
Yeah, totally.
all
Totally.
of it.
The script is really fun.
I think the script is clean.
Yeah. We did not mention that the director of this movie went on to direct the Lizzie McGuire movie, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I really have been affected by that director. I drive a Vespa.
See?
I was gonna say, what's the big scene at the end of the movie where they're performing the Coliseum? It's the
Jesus. On the Lizzie McGuire movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Never seen it.
That movie did not make me gay. That movie made me straight.
That movie
I was like,
made you-
I love a woman, and her name is Lizzie McGuire.
Sing to me, Paulo. Right?
Sing to me, Paulo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was the 2004 Roman holiday.
Hey,
Oh yes.
Alex Borstein is in the Lizzie McGuire movie. How about
Yeah,
that?
she is the chaperone that takes him to Europe.
Oh, all right.
They packed a punch in those character roles.
I guess
They
so.
always do, even in Trick.
I didn't know we were with some Lizzie McGuire aficionados.
So
Yeah, I'm a little impressed.
So I am looking at the award tab on IMDb, and are you both familiar with the Satellite Awards, which still are a thing?
Is that
Yes.
like cable movies or something? No.
They're just a random awards body that does film and TV.
Okay.
They're always really early in the awards season,
Oh,
like
got it,
November.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes voting on stuff that they probably have not seen.
Good for them.
And I am
How
seeing
very American of them.
Yeah.
Tori Spelling was nominated in Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role comedy or musical. Do you want to hear this category?
Yes. Who else is she nominated with?
I mean, there are some fucking stars here that Tori is holding her own with.
It's not like
So,
Talented Mr. Rip,
in the category,
It's 99.
of the Satellite 2000 Awards for Best Supporting Actress in a Musical or Comedy, we got Cameron Diaz for Being John Malkovich.
Oh,
okay,
my
work.
God.
Kate Blanchett for An Ideal Husband.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Barely remember that movie.
Samantha Morton in Sweet and Lowdown, who went on to get an Oscar nomination. Antonia San Juan in All About My Mother. And Tori Spelling, and they all lose to Catherine Keener in Being John Malkovich.
Oh, I mean, well, Catherine...
that I kind of love that Tori is included with all of those women.
You know what? Honestly, Tori's the runner-up.
For for 1999, which had a lot of great performances.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie is not in this category, and she won the Oscar for Girl Interrupted. So maybe the voting body just hadn't seen it.
They don't even know what that movie was.
So I kind of like that Tori
in that
list, category.
Yeah.
Tori deserves runner-up.
It's kind of a serve.
I love it
because what was it? Who else was it? Catherine Keener won, and then
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, that's her wig.
It was the wig. It was a lot of wig work.
Her performance was the wig.
I'll take it.
So brave.
So brave. She didn't wear makeup.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, how about that? Work Tori Spelling. All right. Well, looks like we're at the 1:35 mark. We did take a little 5-minute break, but that's just about our
I mean,
our
I feel
time.
like we haven't really talked a lot about Coco Peru's big scene.
We do need
but
to.
I mean,
we can talk about Coco.
I mean,
again,
give Coco an honorary Oscar.
I'm telling
for
you,
that
in
monologue,
a scene
she's really funny.
The movie has a lot of monologues.
Yeah, it
and
does.
Coco really. I'm telling you, it is a one long take.
Yeah.
They do not cut away.
Yeah.
Minus there's the one final bit. But she hits all her beats.
What is Coco doing in this bar, by the way?
Earning money. She was dancing with the go-go boys.
But it's just like, what? Like, why
she's
is
filming
a
sex
drag
with the
queen
go-go boys.
at this circuit party?
She's wafting through the crowd, lip syncing to people's faces. She's not on a stage.
She was just.
Isn't she lip syncing to
I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar?
I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar.
And she says a line directly to
She does, yeah.
Christian, and I was like, I don't know if this tracks.
Yeah. But I think the speech it's super memorable. I know a lot of gay dudes to this day.
That bathroom was authentic.
The bathroom was very authentic.
I really was waiting for the one
club.
guy kneeling down to be the trough. There's always that one guy at a gay bar.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a trough, there's a...
The pee shy thing too, though, even though I was like, good sound cue. But she's like, I was like, these bits are funny. He's like, can you turn around? She was like, sure. Boom, turns right back.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's super quotable. I know a ton of guys who just every now and then they'll just say like,
they know the whole monologue.
It burns.
It burns. Have you ever had
come in your eye? And that Coco Peru like Brooklyn accent.
Christ! Now I forgot where I was. Where was I?
Threw you on the bed, tore off all your clothes.
Right. So I'm looking at his balls. Next thing I know, he comes in my eye and he's out the door. Gone. You ever get cum in your eye, Gabriel, It burns. So, there I was, lying in the middle of my bed, completely naked, with an eye full of cum, thinking to myself, oh no. And then, the next day, when I called the number he'd given me earlier, it was the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens, and would you believe, they never even heard of a Mark Miranda. But, am I bitter? Absolutely. Let's face it, Gabriel. You're just another little phone number on a dirty cocktail napkin shoved into the bottom of his pocket.
This bothers me. Her Brooklyn accent is so spot on, and I love it. She's great.
The monologue was a great written monologue. It had a whole journey. And then even when the guys started banging on the door, I was like, oh, yeah, this is great building stakes.
Because she walks in, shuts the door,
locks
and
the door,
puts the little
like a
latch
real
on
lady.
It. Yeah.
I was like, that was the most authentic drag queen's like, sorry, I don't have a dressing room at this bar, so I'm going to lock the bathroom door when I need to look in the mirror.
She's done this before.
Yeah, it literally was like, she's like, this is my dressing room.
Yeah. And I mean, you watch Wigstock, you watch Girls Will Be Girls. Coco Peru does have just one wig. But it
Yep.
is the look, and it's iconic.
Hey,
It's
Ariana
Coco.
finally let go of the ponytail.
We can all grow and
Yeah.
change. But no, I mean, the whole scene is great. It's funny.
The makeup, something's green. Is it green eyeshadow or green? Is her eyes just green?
I think she might have green eyeshadow on, but yeah, it's her little warning because she's been spurned by Mark in the past, but
it was a good villain moment actually because the movie doesn't really have a villain.
Yes,
and then suddenly you're like, oh. Also, it was great to be like, he did this bit where he pretended he was asleep on the subway, and you're like, this is the whole movie.
Yep. You're like, oh shit, we've seen this before. Yeah. But it gives him this opportunity to explain himself and say like, hey, well, actually,
thanks to the
this is
sex
what happened.
therapist.
All right.
Tits out, girl.
Right, tits out.
Where she's like, he deserves a chance to explain.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite moment of the movie.
It feels like the acting really zooms out.
I think that's when it really like hits its peak is that scene where they're doing their little couples counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it was so special.
Yeah.
And I think that would be funny in a Judd Apatow movie right now.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe a Kevin Smith movie. No.
Like a scene that I think that if you were to put that in a romantic comedy now, it would still work.
I'm telling you, her even when they're fighting, and her cut to reactions, she is just advocating for the intelligence of her character,
Right.
And it's so funny. I think the boobs out are funny
No, it is.
because again, she's like, whatever, my tits are out, but I'm
Yeah.
still the smartest person in the room.
I love it.
Yeah, and she's got the baby voice, but she's still backing it up.
Oh yeah,
with,
it's
like,
giving
facts.
It's giving. Is it Adele from Guys and Dolls?
Oh shit.
She promised me this. She promised me that.
But she's spitting facts, so it's like you can't argue. You can't.
And she's
argue with
ahead of the
titties.
time.
Yeah.
That speech works today.
Oh, totally. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
This actress is a Victoria's Secret model.
Oh shit.
Really, the Lori?
Oh shit.
Yeah, she was she came from modeling.
I mean, with that face and body,
She
And the
dated
bod.
Chris Farley in 1993,
Who's
and
Chris
they
Farley?
both share
Tommy Boy.
a scene in Tommy Boy.
Okay, I'm telling you, I recognize
Yeah.
this woman from so many things.
That's nuts. All
Wow,
right,
good for
all
her. She had
right.
taste in men.
We love Chris Farley. R.I.P.
It looks like she's even in the Chris Farley documentary. I am Chris Farley.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Whatever. I'm walking away as a huge fan of Lori Bakley.
I know. Okay, so we got to Coco. Do we have any final thoughts before we wrap up? I mean, I do love the
let me
way
look at
that
my
the
notes.
movie kind of starts and ends on this like West
this-
Village,
yes.
like little
Yeah.
neighborhood.
And great lighting that
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's just au naturel.
that morning, that morning light
The pink, red light.
looks really good. It's just that it does show the authentic kind of grimy and crummy New York City, but also the charming fairy tale. I
Yeah,
would
and even like
give anything to live there. In New York
from the
City.
gutter and in the gutter, you
Yes.
can find love.
Yeah.
Which, in my experience as gay men, we're always, back when you're young and horny and full of cum, young, dumb, full of cum. You're like, oh yeah, I could still have the storybook,
yes,
unrealistic love
Right.
affair.
And I mean that's the thing. We were kind of ragging on the Gabriel character for having this heteronormative kind of like idea of what meeting a boy and like what all that should be.
But didn't we all at that age, though?
Yeah, and then at the end of
Yeah.
it, it's just that's kind of what happens. They never do hook
No.
up.
No, they keep it. They
Yeah.
just have a one little kiss.
Very chaste.
A very chaste kiss. Was their tongue? I don't know. Not in the
Probably not.
90s.
Yeah. So he kind of does get his like heteronormative fairy tale moment at the end. when
And
he's
he can
just like,
finally write his musical.
Yeah.
Because he's lived a life.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's not too queenie.
Queenie. Wait till he has a 4G.
Oh, hey.
4G.
Not 4G.
Am I going to be holding my breath for the trick sequel?
I know.
I know that they've been teasing.
It's
I don't know if it's going to
out
happen.
there. It's on IMDb. It's like, does that mean anything?
I remember the big social media announcement for that around 2018.
Right.
So there might have been a script written. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I stand by this scriptwriter. He really killed this. I thought it was tight.
Yeah, definitely. And the other great thing about this, it is a kind of a little known indie 90s movie, but Mama, she's on streaming.
Yeah, I watched her on Amazon Prime yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
We broke out our DVD.
She's on the Peacock, Roku channel. I'm showing
Hate
Plex,
the poster.
Prime Video.
I think the marketing of this movie could be a little better, but also this is just very 90s independent movie marketing.
Yeah,
that
they were like,
I remember
"It's gay."
I don't
seeing
like this poster.
a lot of stuff like this
but
at this time.
I kind of like that one.
God, that is the one that I hid under my shirt as after I rented it from the library. I was like, nope, just checking out Heat right now.
That's the one. It's not Heat. That's the one we'll use for the socials if I can find a not
this
version
polo
of it.
This Gap gray shirt and this Gap polo.
But I mean,
it's a zip.
They must have.
Not even
I wore that in 8th grade.
Fine Line must have known what they had with this movie because it made over $2 million.
Yeah,
which I think for a movie like this, that is a success.
Oh my god, and comedy even. Comedy is
yeah.
even a hard genre to make money in general.
Yeah,
I don't know. On rewatch, I liked it more than I remembered. I was charmed by it more.
Yeah, it was a fun rewatch. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, it had been a long time. I sat through this movie from beginning to end.
And I tell you what, I paused it mostly the second watch back in the day. That blue lighting.
I mean,
little JP in those little those little briefs.
Yeah, just serving body the whole time.
Serving
Even when he's clothed, you're just
they
like,
found
ooh.
every excuse for him to lean back on his elbows. I was like, okay, I guess he is just posing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that. If you're on, gay Instagram or, whatever, there's all those memes of just like when straight guys rock this pose.
Oh man,
it means
leaning back.
I won't tell anyone. I won't tell anyone if you won't. Yeah. And there was a lot of that pose going on in this movie. But hey, we're here for it.
Stretching out those legs in the subway.
Yeah.
He is reclining.
Yeah, all of it.
A chaise lounge.
a chaise.
He's an animated chaise lounge.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think that's the fun thing about this is that people can find this pretty easily.
Yeah.
Even though it was kind of a smaller movie for the time. So, listeners, watch this movie.
Yeah, watch it while you fold laundry.
Yeah. Yes. And then watch it again later on when you're just had an edible and you're lying in bed and the curtains are drawn and maybe a candle's on.
Watch this and then watch Queer as Folk.
All right.
Ooh, I don't think I can bring myself to revisit Queer as Folk.
I owe Queer as Folk. That's how I learned what poppers were. So
I remember me rejecting Queer as Folk when I was a closeted 19-year-old. So I don't know what I would...
Too Queenie.
I would think of it now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Enter you.
Do we like the American or the British Queer as Folk? British.
Oh, yeah, British.
I love the American.
Hands down, British.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, God, I love
like, no... In my opinion, for me...
For you?
Like, no comparison.
Okay. All right.
British.
Well, heard.
I didn't watch a lot of it. I couldn't afford Showtime. So what you both are telling me is that you were rich.
You were rich.
I rented these DVDs 10 years later.
You just got to find a friend in college that had the big box set.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's
the
true.
big
and also, Queer as Folk was... the early Netflix days where you could get a hold of shit like this. Too.
Yes, I remember getting the DVD.
I mean, I may have even rented
in the mail.
I may have even rented Trick from Netflix.
Yeah, man.
At the time,
I couldn't. It was my dad's account.
Is that DVD mine or yours?
I think it's mine.
Our Trick DVD. Oh, it is yours because it says Beaudry on the inside. I don't think I ever bought it, but I did have an affection for it when I first saw it. But I mean, I guess this is a classic now. It's
just one of the OGs.
6 years old.
It matters.
We were just watching the 20-year reunion on YouTube,
and that was
2019.
2019, yes, 5.5 years ago.
Do they all look great though?
Christian looks
great. I
JP
just saw him.
both look really good.
I just saw him I saw their Reefer Madness production in LA.
Fun.
Saw him there. He looked great.
Still
has those eyes.
All right.
He did that with
that
Kristen
baby
Bell.
face.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Bell.
And that big off-Broadway production.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we could go on talking about this movie for a little bit longer, but we should probably...
Sometimes it's fun to do the gay movies on our show.
It is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't do them
the
a lot.
Gay movies make you gay.
I mean...
or let me be gay finally, openly.
There you go. Because, every now and then, maybe we veer away from a a psychological female-driven drama, and
Yeah.
and go into some fun gay movies from our past. This was a lot of fun. Jake, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you want to talk about?
I know.
Plug?
Do you have any gigs coming up?
No gigs. You can
yet.
follow me on Instagram.
Oh,
I'm
right.
super silly there, and you'll be able to up to date. My Instagram is Jake John Alexander. And I'm always dancing in my Calvins. I don't look.
I was going to say there's a lot of you dancing in your kitchen in your
the
underwear.
undies.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here for it. You're doing the Lord's work out there.
You wouldn't believe. Priests are my type.
All right. Oh shit. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. You're more than welcome to come back and talk about any other
A strong female drama.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
female-driven drama,
Please.
in the future. So feel free, look us up, listeners. Why don't you guys stick around? We will be right back. We are back. Thank you, listeners, for sticking with us all the way to the very end.
Yeah.
This episode was quite the ride.
We had all the gay secrets on this episode, Pete.
We spilling gay secrets, intel that the straight
Reminiscing
should
about
know.
old LA nightlife.
I mean, these are things that if you listen to this show, if you are a gay homosexual, then you should be well appraised of all of everything that we were talking about.
Big thanks to
today.
Jake.
Yeah, big
He was a
thanks
fun
to our guest Jake, new guest on the show.
Shocked
and
to hear
hope,
that this is
he
his
comes
first
back.
podcast appearance. He was pretty natural at it.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a great job, and yeah, like I said, I hope he comes back on the show because he was a lot of fun. And anytime he wants to talk about another movie, I think he had some other options when we were talking about this one.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if you're lucky, maybe you'll hear Jake, good old Jake Szczepaniak, and go ahead and give him a follow on socials. He's a
very
really
funny.
funny personality over there on the IG. So big thanks to our new guest and our new friend.
We got to get to more of the 90s classic gay movies. You mentioned All Over the Guy. That would be fun.
I love All Over the Guy. I love Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss. Those are two really fun ones. All Over the Guy's Dan Bukatinsky. So it's got like Christina Ricci, Lisa Kudrow make special appearances in there. That was a lot of fun. That one definitely.
Dan Bukatinsky has been producing the Hulu show Mid-Century Modern.
He is. He's credited.
We've
as
yet to
producer
finish
on
Mid-Century Modern.
Mid-Century
I'd like to
Modern.
finish it.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really talked about it on the show or on the socials, but we both. I
feel like
listen, it's funny. Shut
it's
up.
funny. It's
just shut up.
I also
It's
think
funny.
that people are so not used to a sitcom
Yeah.
formula that once a new one comes out, some people reject it because I think that we've gotten to a place where people really don't watch sitcoms anymore.
Yeah.
I think some of it has to do with that.
I think a lot of it has to do with that. And a lot of it has to do with everybody's just haters on everything. And it's like,
especially gay people are also the worst when it comes to content made for gay people.
build your whole personality
So-
around hating everything new.
But yeah.
How about that?
It might not be perfect, but I think it's pretty good.
I think it's a lot.
I
of
hope
fun.
it gets to season 2.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think the sets are beautiful. I love like all the exterior establishing shots, especially if you know Palm Springs. We were like, oh, there's there. It was a lot of fun.
You're
and
saying that the clothing store that Jesse Tyler Ferguson works at is not
inside of Quads.
inside of Quads.
Correct. Nor is there a high-end clothing store in Arenas. There's clothing stores there, but
I mean, you can get yourself a tank top and a jockstrap
and a cock ring and,
and
some poppers
some poppers while you can still get them.
at the Gay Mart.
Yeah.
Head over to the Gay Mart, kids. It's a lot of fun. This episode sponsored by the Gay Mart, Palm Springs, Arenas Road. No, it's not. But yeah, I think you should check out Mid-Century Modern. I think it's a lot of fun, and hopefully, if they do season 2, we'll see how the casting goes without our Linda.
The guest star situation on Mid-Century Modern. I mean, Sherry O'Terry as the pilled out flight attendant. So funny.
Yeah, there's some really good people involved, so I think they didn't really have to do a lot to call in these favors.
Richard
you know?
Kind.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
good.
God. Just laughing the entire time.
Richard Kind is an elderly gay man.
Laughing
I
the whole time.
love that shit.
Yeah. So great. So stupid. We love it. Go check it out. We're not endorsed by Mid-Century Modern or the writers, but We thought it was a lot of fun. But, should we do Alice on TV that keeps us gay? Well, Alice is hard to find. People wouldn't be able to watch it.
Wasn't there a time when Alice was just on Logo a lot?
Yeah, it would be on Logo a lot.
So
I don't know if
there
still
might be
is.
stuff on demand for Alice.
Yeah. People would have to have cable to watch it, though.
Yeah.
But I love Alice.
No,
really raised me.
We should get to Alice.
Yeah, for sure. Linda Lavin. R.I.P.
Icon.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we should definitely get to wrapping this bad boy up, which means it is that time. It's time for some Patreon shout-outs. We want to give a great big hello and thank you to all of our wonderful patrons. We've got some new ones. Leah, I think it's Leah. Megan, Rachel, Kelsey, Andrew, Stephen, Vanessa, this is Leah, SB, Brian, Sarah, Richard, Mark, Amy, Erica, Anna, Mitchie, our friends at Hetty, Drew, Andy, Kate, Pep, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Stephen, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Jessa, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ted, Benny, Melanie, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Joshua, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and
Rufino.
Thank you guys for being patrons. All of your donations go to keeping this show up and running, keeping our equipment in working order, keeping it ad-free. Sibling Rivalry, we're looking at
Oh my God, when I was listening to Sibling Watchery today, it was almost 5 minutes in when they started to talk about
it. Was
like when they did their
minutes
intros, it
of
was
ads.
5 minutes of ads.
I noticed that too.
I mean, I get that, like, you got to get traffic to the Patreon. You got to, pay the bills. But 5 minutes of ads, though.
Mama.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot. So, all that
Not
here,
on our show.
Not on our show. We've got ad-free content, and we've got some fun stuff over on the Patreon. We just did our ABC sitcoms go to Disney
That
World.
was a really fun episode. I think
Really
that
fun.
episode at the $5 level for TV that keeps us gay, I think that's one of my favorite ones that we've recorded.
Sure.
It ran over 2 hours.
Did it really?
Of us talking about the ABC sitcoms go to Disney World.
I mean, we talked about 5 different shows.
It was 5 different shows. It was so much fun, listeners.
Yeah, we'll put it in the main feed so people can listen to, or so people can see the link in our description and everything.
But yeah, you're going to be missing stuff like that if you don't join the Patreon.
Yeah, and that's only at the $5 level. At the $10 level, you get all of that TV that keeps us gay, plus a Watch With Us commentary track. We just watched. What did we just watch?
Oh, Cinderella.
Cinderella. We just watched
So much fun.
1997 Whitney and Brandy.
It's on Disney Plus.
Classic. It's on Disney Plus.
Put that soundtrack on iTunes.
Yes, Disney. Come on, Apple.
Work something out with the
Get your shit
with
together.
the R&H estate.
Yeah, but if you want to listen to us to talk about Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella as it's playing, as you're watching it on Disney Plus, head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay and check out all of our fun,
A lot of fun stuff.
Special features. We'd love it if you'd rate and review the show. Head over to Apple Podcasts.
Give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars. Write a review.
It helps.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does help. And so, we would love it if you did any of that stuff. Let's see right now if we have any new reviews. No, darn it.
Write us a new one.
But write us a new one and give us a 5-star rating. And then follow us on, like we said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And follow our socials. We're at Movies That Made Us Gay on Instagram. We're the most active there, but we're on Blue Sky as well.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give us a follower at MTMUG Pod on Blue Sky. And we post all the same stuff over there as well. So if you want to follow our personal socials, feel free. I'm Pete. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram.
Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. Until next Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week.
Yeah.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
You ever get cum in your eye, Gabriel, It burns.